The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig! Stop! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Trenches Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. This sports program starts right now.
Football
is here, and obviously life is good. I'm not alone on this stage. It's actually packed today, and this is going to be one of the greatest days of the week for this entire football season. Wednesdays were kind of a day that nobody really liked during football season.
Sure.
Okay, the previous week is too far behind us. The upcoming weekend is just a few days away, but there's no real chatter. Injuries aren't really new at this point. Teams are just trying to figure it out. Wednesdays are the driest day whenever it comes to football season when you're talking about NFL talk show.
Yep.
So this year we stacked it. We
Had
said,
to.
hey, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what. Big time announcement happening right now. Ladies and gentlemen, for this entire season, a man will be joining us every single Wednesday who happens to be a first ballot Hall of Famer who got to the quarterback better than anybody else. Ladies and gentlemen, J.J. Watt will be joining us. Not only today, but every single Wednesday going forward. Can't wait to hear what he has to say about T.J., who having 3 sacks and 2 fumbles, forced fumbles, in a game that he got dominated against the San Francisco 49ers. Also, what's his thoughts on some other D linemen or pass rushers around the league? Can't wait to enjoy the season alongside him. We will also be joined every single Wednesday by our former fat friend, now very skinny friend, who will be breaking down offensive line football and his thoughts as a man who played 12 years in the NFL, is a Super Bowl champion as a player and a coach. He's Jockey Moon.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, AQ Shipley.
Let's go.
Obviously, joining us every Monday through Wednesday for the entire season, 9-year NFL vet, a man who played every position in the secondary, would be with us all week, but he does a show that nobody watches, although it's a good show. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler. It's a good show.
It's a great show.
It's a good show.
How's gambling?
What's it? It's on 1:30 a.m., 2 a.m.
Yeah, if you're
ESPN 2, ESPN Plus. It is
Stream
very.
it, yeah.
What's
When
that?
you stream it there, you stream it anytime you want.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. NFL matchup show. It's a great show.
Yeah.
It is a great show.
We watch the show.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
Every week.
Right.
But I have a conversation with every human that I meet. It's the first thing I say to him. You know, I met Joe Namath this past weekend at College Game Day. First time getting a chance to chat with the Western Pennsylvania quarterback great, a man who went down to Alabama, then obviously goes on to call his shot at the New York Jets. Now, after his career ends, there's certainly some decisions that get made because he is a human. But to see where he was at the age of 80 this past weekend was awesome. I mean, he was quick. He was on it. And then I said, hey, you watch NFL matchup show? And he said, what?
Who's that?
I was like,
Excuse me?
well, you look. Is that because you're 80 right there? That's the first question I asked you. He goes, no, not because I'm older. What is that show? So we need more people to watch that show.
Yep.
Because if it wasn't for that show, Debo would be here all week, and we'd all be very appreciative of. So since he's not, let's at least make it worse.
Okay. Right.
NFL matchups on ESPN The Ocho. What is it?
On ESPN, ESPN2,
It
and
ain't on
ESPN
Yeah.
Plus.
D-Buck,
That
don't lie.
Come on
Don't
now.
lie, D-Buck.
Come on now.
We need to find it, though, because it's
Yeah.
you, Sal.
Yep, Sal Powell and Greg
vet.
Cosell.
Great show. Been around a long time.
That's right.
1984.
You do great work on there.
1984.
Sal does great work.
That's the last time someone saw it.
Whoa!
Hey.
Whoa! That's the Talk to the Table at
On
Boss
ESPN.
Carter and Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. And that show that just had a picture up on the backdrop there behind AQ Shipley's massive head, tiny body, that is a good show. Great show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know Nixon was the third guy.
Well,
That's Greg Cosell.
That's who looks just like Nixon. There's nothing wrong with that.
anyways, you're disgusting. Shout out to NFL Matchup and shout out to Darius J. Butler.
Hell yeah.
D-Buck.
Okay, AQ, you know, a lot has happened since the last time we chatted with you. First of all, you lose 75 pounds.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And maybe a Q.
How much weight are you down?
60.
Jeez
60,
Louise.
yeah.
Jeez Louise.
He's
You
not
look like
strong.
a completely different person. You'll be doing In the Trenches in the third hour on YouTube and ESPN Plus. Huh?
Yeah.
Boom.
NFL matchup?
Here we go.
Is it on there?
It's for everything.
I don't know if that's true.
everything.
But on ESPN Plus, alongside NFL Matchup, we will also be live for the third hour of this program every single day, also on YouTube.
Yeah.
But In the Trenches will be in the third hour today and every single Wednesday going forward. We'll get a chance to chat about offensive line play. How was offensive line play around the NFL this past weekend in week one?
Not to make excuses, but typically week one, always a little behind. Always a little behind. There was some good stuff, but we got to pick it up moving forward, and they will. It's just getting the reps again. Preseason, a lot of the guys don't play. Now we're back in live form. The coaches on all of these teams are trying to hammer the reps. They don't get enough reps, so here we are. But we got some really good stuff this week. I can't wait to show it off.
Okay, so let's talk about an offensive line story that kind of captivated yesterday's headlines. The Athletic reported, and we still don't know if this has been confirmed or not.
No.
Diana Rossini knows.
She does.
Oh, yeah.
We respect Diana Rossini's inside information. She came out and said that Aaron Rodgers didn't want to do the cut block that happened not only on the play that got hurt, but also the first play where Mekhi Becton went down. Then he ended up getting under pressure, having to turn, roll to his right, stumble, fall, throw the ball out of bounds, which we saw him do in the preseason game. But this cut block on the quick game thing was a conversation that allegedly happened behind closed doors. Aaron didn't like it. Offensive lineman liked it. Now we have a guy with a torn Achilles 4 plays into his tenure as a New York Jet. Is that something that is kind of mixing an old school mantra with a new school mantra? Like, how much has the offensive line room changed in the schemes, the strategies from the beginning of football? Or is that one of the most traditional places in football, the offensive line, where it's like, this is how it's done, this is what you have to do, doesn't matter the generation of humans coming in or what all the rules are saying?
Yeah, I think from the beginning of time, when you look at it, especially at the tackles, as you saw on that play, the interior guys did not cut. Too close to the quarterback, you can't have that happen. But as the tackles, those edge guys get up the field so fast. In the quick game, typically it's going towards the sidelines, and that is when you need to get those edge guys' hands down. And so that's what happened there. And whenever you saw that play, you see him get down and then get back up and make the play. So technically, Dwayne did his job. He's a pro. He's an all-pro at a time in his career. And so when you see that, you don't think he screwed up. It's just coaches have been teaching that since the beginning of time. If it's quick game, let's try and get some hands down.
Okay, so not necessarily blaming the offensive line coach.
No.
But also if Aaron Rodgers, who's known to extend some plays, says, hey, I don't like that, probably, I mean, that's going to be a full conversation going forward. Let's talk about the offensive lines, though. There was one particular place that did very well with the offensive line. Tua didn't even get touched. Here's a stat that I got from Classic Hembo text this morning. These are awesome, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, huge.
I'm waking up in the morning, okay, baby, wife, how we doing? This morning, baby woke up, first time puking on herself while sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of scary.
A little bit.
That is kind of a scary thing because I've had friends that have puked on themselves while sleeping, and you always got to worry about them dying. You know, because they're too boozed up. They can't handle whatever they're drinking. They're laying on their back, snoring, and then puke, and then right back in there. That's very,
Oh, yeah.
that's like scary. So kind of a scary moment this morning that something slipped past the sound meter that got us, so it would have us wake up or whatever. But she had puke on her face.
Oh, yeah, in her hair.
And she's just laughing about it. I'm like, all right, so Mackenzie's a dog. That's awesome. That happened this morning. Then I go up, obviously, going to do the morning thing where you let go of all the demons from yesterday, whatever you potentially ate, and let's do it. Let's go ahead and scroll through our internet. And then I'm just waking up to these texts now from Hembo that are just stats. These are just stats around the NFL. I am so happy I have entered into this guy's orbit. I'm relieving yesterday's demons, just learning incredible things. Here's a crazy stat. Thank you, Hembo. Every stat you send is a crazy stat. Rodgers was contacted the same number of times in week 1, 3, as Tua, who had 46 dropbacks without his left tackle, Teron Armstead.
Wow.
One team emphasized protection, obviously. The other emphasized trying to get a quarterback and some weapons. That's a thing that I think will carry this Miami Dolphins team, though. Without their best offensive lineman, they were able to protect Tua. If you're able to keep him alive, you're going to be a good spot. Is that offensive line going to be able to do this for the rest of the year? Is that a good indicator that they have it figured out?
I don't necessarily know if they're going to be able to do it as well as they did in week 1, but here's the one thing you got to really acknowledge. McDaniels is so good. He is so good. When you watch the way he schemes, all the play action, everything.
Hold on. Did you say Josh McDaniels?
Mike McDaniels.
Oh, yeah, not plural. Wow.
Singular.
Oh, it's Mike
Learn who you're
McDaniel.
talking about.
Oh,
That guy
man.
was a run game coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers.
No S. Didn't realize that.
Yeah, singular.
Okay,
Josh
Mike
McDaniels.
McDaniel.
There's a team coming.
It's common
The guy
mistake.
gets
Common
skinny,
mistake.
doesn't even know coach's names.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. Wow.
Working with the tight ends these days. But he's unbelievable at the way he marries everything up. The way we get the play action, the way we get the run game, the tight end starting over here, coming back, making it look like it's run. It makes the offensive line's job so easy. And in this day and age, in today's game, making the offensive line jobs easy is so big.
Hey, run
the
game
D-line is
matters
so
right
good.
now.
It's
Run
huge.
game matters a lot right now. Everybody thought we were going to go to the air raid stuff, and I think there is still facets of that around the league. But the teams that can run the ball well are going to be the teams that end up winning the game. And I'm very excited to kind of learn about who you thought was good this past weekend. And who, did you point out any crap plays from the offensive line?
No crap plays.
Smart. That's smart.
Good man.
This guy's still trying to get a job. Also be
right.
friends with everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, D-Buck comes out here and he's like, look at this guy getting bombed on.
This guy stinks.
This one only show one bat.
Yeah, but you remember last year.
Oh, it was just
Every week.
low lights left and
It
right.
was awesome.
Hey, that's real though. That's meetings. We got to see the bad. You know, you get that, you take it, you learn from it, and move on.
I'm just saying
The
that
bad should be good.
you're a mentally tougher person than I am. You know, like I had to give a speech to Sam Martin yesterday for the good of all punters. Okay, hey Sam, can't have it. You know
Never
what I mean?
again.
Can't have what happened happen. And also, I watched that ball back, and I don't want to like play armchair quarterback. He could have got the ball out. Like old buddy, whenever he cuts, Xavier Gibson cuts back, that ball's in his left hand. That thing's out like this, and Sam is standing right in front of him within arm's reach. If he does that double punch instead of to the head, if he tries to punch him in the abdomen, he might get the ball out, dude.
That ain't Sam's job.
Well,
And we appreciated what you did as a punter, but hey, a punter, a snapper, you got a job to do. The other 9 guys, they got a job to do, and that's get him on the ground. Look, he makes that tackle, he gets hurt, and he's out for 6 weeks. Then we
Well, he
gotta
almost
hold
got hurt
that-
doing that.
Get out the way, Sam.
He got his drop hand in there, too. We did not have our drop hand punching at helmets there. But, like, I had to give a speech to Sam Martin, who I'm a big fan of. Like, hey, bub, can't have it, okay? Do you see what everybody's saying now? It's not good for any of us.
That's right.
You see it.
You just fall, pull a hamstring. We don't need that ever again. No. But you breaking down film on guys, I think is an incredible mental toughness that I do not have. But also, I appreciate you doing it because fans of those teams and us watching at home often wonder, like, whatever the commentator says has to be right.
Yeah,
Of course.
You know, whatever the commentator, and there's guys getting missed on the blame, and then there's people sneaking by pretty much that are definitely at fault. Oh, yeah. So we appreciate you doing that. AQ, maybe something to think about.
Yeah.
Burn some
Well,
bridges.
listen, I know the way these guys go through film sessions with their own coaches.
Yeah.
There's nothing good. Even when it's good, it's not being told that it's good. So if I can give a little fluff piece here and there, it's pretty good.
Listen,
pretty good for the boys.
they called us a sellout. Could you imagine what they would say to you?
my
This
God.
new skinny body,
fluffing
and then
people.
starts calling out offensive linemen. Oh, you can bounce out of the club.
Yeah.
You do look good.
Thanks, man.
I disagree, but
It's not what you said this morning.
that is what I said.
Whoa.
That is
What do we need to know? Whoa.
That is what I
First
said
thing
this
when I
morning.
walked in the Hawk House. Looked pretty good, man.
You still look like a Clydesdale. You know, you're running on that treadmill, and your fat ass was still there. You know, you got those.
I still got the base.
What is that?
Birthing hips?
Yeah, boom. There it is. You do have those, and then your calves are huge. It's just your upper body is getting sculpted. I appreciate what you're doing. Maybe go back and play. You look like you're in the best shape of your life. I know you're training with Ryan Bader, obviously heavyweight
Yep.
heavyweight champion of Bellator, longest ever.
Crazy.
And you're in his fight camp. Is that because of you?
No, it's not because of me. In fact, actually, since the camp started,
They kicked you out.
No, but I stay away. I don't want to be a distraction.
Wow.
Bro, it's finally fight camp, and
My
now you're kicked
God.
out. Oh my! You don't want to be a distraction. What,
I
you're
don't
too
want
good.
to be a distraction. No, it looked real. Once I saw them in a cage and not on a mat, I said, I'm out.
Oh, so it started getting like too serious.
Yeah, it started getting real.
I thought you were going to go into the octagon.
No, somebody made you an offer from the Midwestern Knuckle Up
One of those.
Fight Conference.
That's right.
That's
Right?
a legit.
Yeah.
That's a very legitimate promotion too. That's not just some random place.
Yeah, some guy sent us an email that had a letterhead and everything. Said, hey, if AQ wants to
get
fight
him?
anybody, we will certainly line up and fight.
Absolutely.
It's like, we appreciate that. But the reason why we had to retire from the NFL is because a guy like Ty Schmidt could paralyze him. Just one, right? Isn't that right?
Right here.
Exactly right.
Suck it.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about some news around the NFL, not AQ Shipley and the offensive line, although we will learn about them later. We'll also be joined by Eli Manning in about 20 minutes or so. He's linking up with IBM, who has worked with ESPN to evolve the integration of artificial intelligence.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Watson's a problem.
You heard it right.
into their fantasy football platform to scale the creation of insightful content that helps users make better decisions about their rosters, no matter their level of experience. We're not big fantasy people here. I guess Connor is, but our show not genuinely or generally a big fantasy show. But we will certainly take every piece of information that this artificial intelligence has and use it for gambling.
Yes.
And we will try to profit off of what these smart fake things are. But I don't like that they're infiltrating our fun now, too.
No.
Everything we do now, they're getting into.
I mean, we said it weeks, if not months ago. It's time to pull the plug and slow this thing down. You know, even if it's just a week or two, it's kind of getting ahead of itself here. And
we need to flatten the curve.
We do need to flatten the curve.
We need to flatten the curve, you know, because the AI.
2 weeks, it's all it takes.
The AI, well, that's certainly.
Sometimes.
The AI is going like this.
Oh, a bit, yeah.
Okay, it's getting way too smart.
That's right.
We need to flatten that curve.
You unplug that thing, boom.
Don't have any power go to it.
Yep.
Easy.
Couple days.
Bring it back down to
Exactly.
life. Oh, how's humility? You tell us. Right at the bottom. Now,
dead.
they're going to continue to climb again, but we got to flatten the curve with AI. I'm happy they've gotten into this with fantasy football, and I'm happy Eli Manning's a part of it because we're getting a chance to chat with him because of it. How about his Monday night with his brother starting off with that Jets game? Most watched Monday Night Football game of all time.
Yeah, ever.
It's crazy.
Congratulations to the
Unreal.
Jets and the Bills being a big-time draw.
24 million, I think.
That's huge.
Massive.
And Roger Goodell now is doing a full media tour, talking about everything they got going on. Won't come on this show,
Not
though.
a full
Yeah,
media.
Are you scared, Rog?
weird.
Not a full media tour.
You scared? Just college dropout in a tank top, Rog. Ain't nothing going to happen over here.
Come talk.
Come on, Rog.
Yeah,
we
just
love the
those-
NFL.
Quick sit down.
I have mad respect for everything you've done. He's doing every show now, it seems like.
You've always been very adamant. He is your commissioner.
He's my commissioner.
Yes.
He's made some decisions that have not made people happy. That's going to happen. That's like literally what a commissioner of a league is going to have to do, especially whenever you have fan bases that are as rabid as NFL fan bases. If you make a decision that's going to hurt that team, that fan base is going to say, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
He's in that position. That's why he makes $60 million. He's going to have to make those decisions. I think he's done okay. Had some mistakes for sure, but scared. Scared to talk to us.
Very weird.
Wow. We've been putting requests in for about a year now, you know, for this whole thing. And I know everybody else has a lot of different time in the media game and everything like that, but it's like, I can't wait to talk to that man. He was a Stephen A this morning for
Probably 15.
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes, talked about gambling, talking about streaming, talking about the future. Every time he talks, there's good answers that come out about the future of the NFL, and I enjoy picking through them and celebrating them. We just hope someday, you know, him and old McCarthy won't be so scared to get him on this particular program.
Yeah.
We'll have a good time, pal. We'll have a good time. Speaking of NFL news, I went through the Chris Jones deal a little bit because it didn't make any sense to me. Didn't make any sense.
At all.
Michael Lombardi, who's obviously a friend of the program, he'll be joining us every single Friday, as will another guest joining us every single Friday. We'll announce that on Friday. He came out and said, this holdout made no sense. He loses $3 million in fines from the days that he missed, but he only has the opportunity to really gain $2 million more, and that's if they win the Super Bowl. He wins Defensive Player of the Year. There's some other incentives in there. If he plays 50% of the snaps going forward for the last 16 games, he'll get an extra like $2 million or something like that, and then an extra $1.5 million somewhere else. So he did get more money, but to hold out and lose as much as he did with the way it looked, and then obviously the Chiefs lose, you would think to yourself, this was not a good thing. Looked into it a little bit. Florio had a lot of information on this on Pro Football Talk. So the way that this came together, I think, and the way that Chris Jones got to a point where he accepted this as the outcome, as opposed to what he had been potentially stumping for a long time. Well, the way Florio laid it out is, if he gets franchise tag next year with this amount of money, he will have $53 million guaranteed pretty much over the next 2 years. They offered him a 3-year, $70 million deal, which is, I forget how many millions of dollars less than what Aaron Donald got. Quinn Williams is in that ballpark or whatever. So his entire gamble pretty much was $17 million, okay, or for that last year or more, or just $53 million right now. I think him owning his right to become a free agent after this season, if they don't franchise tag him, and getting $53 million over 2 years is the reason why he accepted it. But Clark Hunt, notoriously, if you look into the history, the owner of the Chiefs, not a big I'm going to pay defensive players a third-time guy. You can go through the entire list. Barry, Tyrann Mathieu, old Cuzzy,
The Tamba?
Tamba. There's like 4 or 5 different guys that, like the Kansas City Chiefs, do not invest in third contracts and guys. So Chris Jones, I think, much like what Aaron Rodgers is going through with the Packers, had seen this, like has seen this trend and took a stand and was like, nope, I'm an anomaly. I'm Defensive Player of the Year candidate. I was doubled more than anybody else in the entire league last year. I want to get paid less than Aaron Donald, but I want to get paid in the top tier of these people. So I think the way Chris Jones has gotten to the point is he took a stand, he let it be heard. He has $53 million coming to him if they franchise tag him, and he's also potentially a free agent afterwards. And I assume he missed football.
Yes.
I assume
I would have sitting in the crowd watching the team lose. Yeah, I think so.
I'd assume he missed football because when you just look at the numbers of this year's deal, and then you think about how much he was willing to give up, how loud of a distraction it was, everything that potentially negative came alongside of it, you think to yourself, well, why would he agree to that deal? That doesn't seem like what you would cause this big of a stink for. But then you start piecing it together on the flip side. It's like missed ball, getting 53, took a stand, probably for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not just himself, probably felt as if he took a stand for a lot of different players. Yeah. Now let's get back to doing what we're doing with some achievable incentives. I think it's great that they have him back, but that was a real, especially with the Jonathan Taylor situation happening, I obviously was pretty keen on why and how this deal came together. And I'm not saying Jonathan Taylor is anywhere near what Chris Jones is, okay? Let's not do that. Chris Jones is top 2 at his position, at a position that is not easy to find. So we're not talking
high-paid position.
Yes, and Jonathan Taylor, 2 years ago, incredible.
So good.
Last year, not good. Missed games, was hurt, didn't go fantastic. We had number 4 overall pick. Then after the season, he says, yeah, I'm playing through my contract. He is loved by everybody. Into March, I think, or April. April, he says, yep, I'm playing my contract. So then all money's gone, all moves gone. Then whenever all teams are already situated and salary cap's already figured out, then he takes his stand. It's like, yo, you're coming off your worst year. The team stinks. And whenever we had money to potentially do this in the proper time, you said you didn't want it. You said you wanted to play through the entire contract. So that business decision, I just think has been a bad one.
Yeah.
I hope Jonathan Taylor makes all the money in the world. The Colts need him, clearly, but we're not winning the Super Bowl this year. So it's like, okay, if this thing ends up going another way it goes. Chris Jones, though, seemingly conceded a little bit on his ask, but still feels as if he got the job done. Are you happy for Chris, and what do you think this does for the Kansas City Chiefs, Steve?
Yeah, I'm happy he's back in the building. The CBA, it makes it tough for holdouts. You just lose so much money and it's leverage. And obviously, like you said, situations are situational. So Jonathan Taylor in a different situation than a Nick Bosa or a Chris Jones. Would have loved to see him get, the more money, the multi-years guaranteed and all that stuff, because he is an anomaly at that position, at a very important position, especially when it comes to putting pressure on the passer. It's the passer, and then it's the guys who can put pressure on that passer. So I appreciate him taking that stand, but all those things you mentioned, and not even to mention, at this stage of your career, you missed the training camp. Sure. You're going to assume as a pro he's been taking care of himself. Yeah. He's in great shape. So now you got 16 games to go out there and hit these incentives. A lot of them are likely to be earned, and the other ones, with the Chiefs, everything's kind of likely to be earned. You can win a Super Bowl any year with that team and that quarterback. So glad to see them work something out, him being back on the field, and just hope for a great, healthy year, and he gets his money next year.
He's on a contract year again.
Yeah.
So congrats to the Chiefs. They get, and contract years are real.
Yeah.
Guys are motivated. They have those dog races.
Yeah, the Iditarod?
Sure.
No. The Greyhounds.
Oh, okay. Well,
The dog race, buddy. Iditarod also a good race.
Yeah,
that is a good dog race.
We don't love that one.
That one's tough. I think there's a lot of horse racing outcomes.
Sure.
No.
And I think there's a chance. Yeah, it's real cool.
Geez.
But those Greyhounds, they put a rabbit in front.
Yep.
And then that thing goes. And then these dogs are just chasing the rabbit, and they talk about dangling a carrot in front of somebody's face or whatever. It's like a contract is that. That is what it is. Like, hey, everything you've worked for your entire life is available for you if you just go get it. So normally in contract years, it's not just on the field of practice. It's normally all the other stuff that it gets tightened up, your nutrition, your schedule, your discipline, all of it creates the best version of yourself that you can create, because that's what you're hoping for. Chris Jones already has made like $70 million, so he's already rich, but this next bag is going to be a big one. I assume that's still going to motivate the hell out of him to show up.
That's what I was about to say. We've all been in the locker room. We've seen guys who play a great contract year, get paid, and then they're kind of a different dude. We've seen Chris Jones get paid already and still be that guy and only get better. So he's a guy that you should be afraid of investing that type of money in. So excited for him in this contract year and beyond for sure.
He can handle the money.
Absolutely.
He can handle the discipline that has to come whenever you get a lot of money. I was
yeah.
great with it. You know, after my first year, I go back to my second year. I got about $2,500 in that bank account.
Well,
Seen 4 different continents.
good summer.
Great.
Yeah.
Not
So-
just good. I mean, it was
Worth it.
buddy. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Hey, but you need to conserve your money. You need to conserve your money. Okay, have you ever been in a position where, like, you want to go to Africa? Yeah, I do.
I'm going.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go.
See ya.
Hey, you want to come down to Miami tomorrow? There's a massive party. Oh, who's going to be there? Start naming off every human you've ever been a fan of. It's yeah,
Sure.
I think I do. Here's where we're staying. How much is the rooms? $3,500. It's a lot of money, but
Sounds good.
am I not going to
Yeah,
stay there?
gotta go.
I gotta
we go.
stay-
Give me a sweet.
Gotta stay there. And then it's like, well, what if you don't make the team next year? You weren't really that good. It's like, well, I had a great run.
Yeah.
You know, I had a great run with the whole thing. But whenever you're talking about Chris Jones, why is he such a nightmare? He's just faster, stronger, and smarter than everybody. And why do you centers hate a guy like Chris Jones? And how many Chris Jones are out there, AQ?
There's very few, and I'm glad that he doesn't line up over the center very often because, man, you don't see that combination of size and speed very often. When you get 6'6", 325 pounds that can move.
Could you imagine what he would do to you right now?
Oh, man.
At your, 5'11", 215-pound frame?
You don't know
Very
how
short
many
arms.
times I said when I got out at the right time. I just keep watching these guys get more athletic, more freakish. And
Miles
just
Garrett was
bigger,
crossing
stronger,
up a
faster.
center.
Bingo.
He was doing this before.
What are you
this-
supposed to do there?
I don't know.
tell us.
do?
You ever see
Yeah,
that?
you tell us.
You tell us.
You're the expert.
Well, listen, you just sit back and hope for the best. I mean, when you start seeing this, you call timeout.
All right, this is the middle of a real game.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
This guy does not have any worries at all. No chance. No shot.
He was telling me a story this morning that it kind of happened to him.
Yeah, I got a good story about this, actually. Very similar
How
type
long?
play.
Let's
Real quick,
Yeah,
real
hold
quick,
on,
real
hold
quick.
on. We heard a good story earlier, too. That was a dud.
Clowney. So Clowney was doing that, and this was when he was in his prime in Houston, and he's standing up. He wasn't doing the little crossover thing, but he's standing up, and I know he's coming in the A-gap. I got this A-gap. I sat there, and he makes a little move to that A-gap. I'm like, I'm going to leave him for the back. I left him for the back.
Oh, no.
Not a good
And now
move.
Andrew Luck's retired.
It was Adrian
So-
Peterson.
Oh, this was when
But
you
guess
were,
what? Adrian Peterson stepped on. I mean,
Where was this at? Arizona?
yeah.
Adrian Peterson still, I think he could still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think he's still trying.
I think he is. He's still a free agent. Next time Schefter comes on, we need to ask him. Anybody sign Adrian Peterson?
Where's AP at?
Have the Colts thought about signing Adrian Peterson? You know, I'm about sick of number 35 fumbling the ball every time he touches it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm about done with that. I'm sure he's a great guy. Love everything about him. But we don't have Jonathan Taylor. This 35 guy had all eyes on him in that stadium. Buddy, they wanted to cheer for him.
Yeah.
Tough
They,
start.
they really did.
The experts, too. Did you see the experts showing some freeze frames of that guy running the football?
Yeah, there was a little bit of a stretch there where
Like, boy, oh, boy.
should have zigged, and he certainly zagged.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, those sky cam shots.
That's right.
they don't show
So
the
easy
real
to
easy
play
doing
running
from
back
there.
from a remote control.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's what's it like whenever you're out there? You already have 2 fumbles.
Bingo.
You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
You think those holes aren't getting a little bit blurry? The vision
Yeah,
is in a
well-
little bit shaken a little bit. Maybe Adrian Peterson will be able to figure it out. We're learning some stuff here about Baker Mayfield. Okay, Baker Mayfield obviously in college could outrun everybody except for that cop.
That's right.
That cop.
Yeah.
Clean shot on him.
Yeah.
Now, we knew his toughness was real after that particular evening. We knew his moxie was legit when in Columbus, Ohio, he took the Oklahoma flag on a turf field and said, hi, like it was the moon.
Yeah.
Which definitely happened.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, Baker's wasn't as good as when Neil, shoved it into the moon, but it was pretty damn good.
We love Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
The thought of Baker Mayfield. We enjoy the fact that he is a little bit spice,
Yeah.
a little bit of a history,
Yep.
has some human-like tendencies off the field, and then on the field, he goes to Cleveland, and somehow they won a playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
In Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. They had not won at all. We're talking about a city that wasn't able to open coolers to enjoy beers because they locked them down until the Browns won. This team stinks.
Yeah.
Stank and stunk. He goes in there, wins a playoff game for him, and then somehow, some way, everybody in that building hates him.
Yeah.
Yep.
They run him out of town. Goes down to Carolina. People start talking, is Baker really that good? We see him throw 60 times on a Sunday night against the Pittsburgh Steelers whenever he has a torn labrum in his left arm. And the coach is actually on record as saying, yeah, his accuracy is affected because he can't move with the thing that he has on. Now, 2 days later, that same coach goes, all right, Baker, here's the deal. Putting Chubb on the sideline, and we're having you throw the ball 60 times. Felt like it was a little bit of a setup, a little bit of a bamboozle to make old Baker look terrible, and he did. So he gets out of town. He goes to Carolina. He goes to Los Angeles. Now Tampa pays him a little bit. Tampa's like, hey, we actually need you. And we start hearing rumblings through training camp that maybe Baker is going to be the guy. Then some videos show up, and he's not great.
Oh, no.
Not great at all. And then that obviously brought out all the Baker haters to be like, look, this guy's getting another opportunity. This guy is going to get so many chances. He's been run out of every place he's ever been. He stinks. Now we just heard a story from a running back after week 1 in Tampa Bay. Yeah. And the story goes like this.
I mean, just understanding what they was doing, kind of, we was paying attention to the whole game of their signal calls. And I just remember, like, Bake came in the locker room, like, I mean, literally at halftime, he said, I got it. Like, we got all these signals. Like, we in there talking, like, as an office. Like, I know all these signals. If they do this, they going into cover 2. They do this, they going into cover 3. Every time I alert this, they drop him, and they do this signal, they drop him back to this. And I'm like, wow, like, that's amazing. Because, I mean, like, I know certain coverages, but I don't know a lot like that. But I would just listen to him, and we would just listen to him, and we just kind of understood. And then in the run game, we just wanted to keep, regardless of what the average looked like and what it was, we wanted to try to be physical as we can and just keep running and never give up on it, So that's a tremendous thing that Coach Canals did, and it all panned out and worked out together.
I like that he's in a shed doing this conversation. I appreciate the backdrop there. That was fantastic. Rashad White there, running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who's been there for a while. That goes against the narrative, I think, about Baker Mayfield. This dude in the middle of the game is looking over, got it. Okay. Normally, correct me if I'm wrong, there is a guy on every sideline that is tasked. Probably that quarterback 3 that you're seeing now that is dressing and going to be on the sideline. That's normally the person. Or if there's somebody that has talent in this particular realm of the world in the coaching staff, they're looking at the other signs, trying to get a read, trying to figure it out. Yep. The fact that Baker's doing it on the field while playing and then getting it right, I would assume, is something that I don't think any of us would have expected out of Baker Mayfield. That isn't that's not what Baker Mayfield's known for. Baker Mayfield, this guy's got moxie, he's got grit, he's an athlete, he's a competitor, he's a fighter, he's this, that. This one is like, this dude's cerebral. He's picking up signs in the middle of the game and then cameras out.
Exactly.
Remember they were doing this?
Spies.
Colts were known for having.
Whoa!
Go ahead, D-Buck. Go ahead, D-Buck.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
But you know what?
For having what? Yeah, whoa.
Some great spotters on the other sideline. So we were, going into playing against the Colts, we would know. I actually remember the guy's name. It just came to me.
Go ahead.
Put it out there. But legendary coach. Get some great signals. But Tom, Peyton,
we were doing it legally.
A-Rod.
We didn't have an old man with a camera upstairs going, I'll blink twice if it's a curveball like the Astros.
That's not what it sounds like. And also, Debo left out that little fact that, the Colts were pumping in noise for years.
Nah, RCA Gun was just a loud house. Sorry about it.
Hey.
Nope.
Sorry about it.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I would like to know, though, how difficult that is.
Yeah.
Just as somebody who has, that feels like that's in my wheelhouse of brain stuff, but you have to see so much. You have to see the call, then you have to also know what the coverage is that they're running out of that, what disguise is happening.
Yeah.
So to have the confidence to be able to do it, I think is a big deal. And to remember,
yeah.
Congrats to Baker. All on the fly. And if you're wrong, you've screwed over everyone.
Yeah.
So it's a tough thing because if you believe the messages and you believe it and you're wrong, you're worse off than you were without even trying to guess it all.
Yeah, and I feel like the thought, too, after seeing, the score of this game, you check and, the Bucs beat the Vikings. The Vikings they must have taken a step back. No more Dalvin Cook. They're probably not going to have a good year. It feels more so now like the Bucs are actually a good football team. Instead of the massive drop-off from Tom, they still have all these great players, and they're much better than we thought they were.
We start looking at the NFC South, and we go, well, that division stinks.
Exactly.
Yep. Then you think about what the Saints did, and I saw Derek Carr say, I want to take another shot, and Jameis Winston goes, yes.
Yes.
That was a great video, great piece of content. We appreciate Jameis Winston for getting on camera anytime he gets on camera, but it felt like they're in good position. You look at the Atlanta Falcons, And we talked about the Atlanta Falcons last year because In the Trenches had Atlanta Falcons on the first 3 weeks because old Artie Smith draws up some incredible run plays. You know that joker, Cordero Patterson, that took over the NFL? There's a reason. There's a setup for success down there. Now, is Desmond Ridder a guy? We will find out. Didn't have to do much this past weekend, and we're being told from inside that building, 100% faith that Desmond Ridder is still a guy, even though the internet seems to be saying some other things. And then you go with this particular team, that NFC South all of a sudden not that bad. Joining us now is a man who might be able to break down this at a much better level than any of us. Sure. Two-time Super Bowl champion.
Wow.
Whoa. Quarterback for the New York Football Giants. Long time. Incredible flip cup player. Remember?
That's right.
We saw him on the internet getting Dahn with the boys. He hosts Monday Night Manning alongside of his brother Peyton. And today, he's representing IBM, who has worked with ESPN to evolve the integration of artificial intelligence.
Don't love that.
Don't love that. Working with the enemy in future, at least. Ladies and gentlemen, Eli Manning.
What's up, fellas? What's up, Pat? How you doing, man?
Eli, thank you so much for joining us. What do you know about this artificial intelligence from IBM? Do we know if we can unplug it and just kind of slow it down if we have to at some point?
Hey, I'm new to fantasy football, and I'm using every feature possible. So I'm on the ESPN Fantasy app. I got the IBM. I'm using Watson. I'm using AI. I got the trade analyzer now with this waiver wire insights. I know a lot of people maybe looking for a new quarterback. They've had Aaron Rodgers. You gotta get on the waiver wire, find a new guy. So the waiver grades, they kind of give you some suggestions. Your best quarterback you can pick up that matches your team, that matches the league, what the rules are, and everything. So I'm using all the information I can use to help my fantasy team.
Bro, you sound like you got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Out, Eli.
I'm sure there's fantasy football people watching right now. They're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But I'm not a big fantasy guy. Everything you just said right there made me feel like, hey, Eli's got to figure it out. And if you don't, we got AI helping.
That's right.
Boom.
And every single asset of this thing with IBM. Let's talk about that Monday night game because you brought up Aaron Rodgers in fantasy football. Largest Monday night football game of all time. Okay, how many millions?
24.
24 million people documented. How do they do that? We don't know because people are watching on so many different devices. How do they keep track? Congrats to you and your brother with an incredible start on season 3 of Monday Night Manning, and we enjoy it. Aaron goes down, and then he goes to the blue tent. Then the cart comes out. Then Peyton has the same reaction, I think, as all of us. I thought it was a tweak. We're going to tape it up. He's off and running. And then the internet was like, well, look at the recoil on his Achilles right here. This thing's much serious. It kind of blindsided all of us that this was how the Aaron Rodgers Jets tenure would stop, at least for the brief moment after 4 plays. What do you think they do next? Did you see enough out of Zach Wilson in that game to think that he has matured or changed from years past to be their guy? Or do you think they should look outside the building to potentially make a run with this roster that looks phenomenal, all about the except for the quarterback position?
No, I think you got to stay with Zach Wilson. He's been there all through training camp. He still has some experience playing. He's still a young quarterback, but at least he knows the system. If you bring in a new quarterback who hasn't been anywhere, not to know the system, it just takes too much time. So, Zach obviously played great in the second half of that game, got it going. A couple of nice drives there at the end to get the win. So I think he's the guy. It's unfortunate, for Aaron. I feel for him. I know he was excited for this upcoming season. I know, you talk with him a bunch, Pat, on the show, and he'd worked hard. He'd, kind of a second chance and a new spot and a lot of new changes. So, feel for him that it had to end this way. It was a shock. Yeah. I mean, I got worried when I didn't. It looked like an ankle at first, and when I didn't see someone land on his ankle or get twisted or didn't see anything of the ankle, that's when I was worried that it was going to be something worse.
Yeah, I agree. And whenever we watch it back, I had an optimism. I was just hoping because he stands up and is just like,
Yeah.
All right, well. I'm just going to sit down. I'm like, well, he's way too casual.
Yeah.
Right? That's way.
Oh, yeah.
That is way too casual for something that could potentially be season ending. And it is at his age, everybody's giving their takes on this. We believe, without inside information from him, I believe he's too competitive of a human being. He's not going to let it end that particular fashion. As a guy who got older, obviously, in the NFL, everything gets harder. Everybody has a human body. What do you think about the 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers? No kids, no wife, coming back, or what decision he's going to make over the next few months?
Yeah, who knows? I guess it just depends on the recovery and how long it takes and the rehab. But I would think the mindset would be that he's rehabbing to come back and play again. This is not how he wants to go out. This is not how he wants this kind of second chance and coming to the Jets to end with 4 plays. So I would expect him to work his tail off and come back and get healthy and see what he can do with this team.
Hey, that area over there, he goes over there, big city, right? Everybody talks about he's going from small media market to big media market. Normally, you go from big media market to small media market, they're throwing parades for you.
Yeah.
Happy to have you here. He goes from Green Bay to New York, and it's the opposite. Like New York, the biggest city in the world is, well, I guess there's a bigger one over, I think Tokyo.
Yeah, Tokyo, Shanghai.
There's a couple there. Anyways, biggest, you get it. Yeah, we just got to make sure we get it right, Eli. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's this show. The biggest city in the United States of America is like, thank God you're here. We are so happy. Was that your experience as the Giants quarterback? Obviously, in the good days, is that what it was like whenever you were winning? It's because every door opens. Because New York is the gateway to everything, pretty much. Is that what you experienced as quarterback over there for the Giants? And is that obviously what he's doing?
Fun. Yeah, it's fun to win here. I'm not gonna lie, Pat. It's good. It's a good place to win a couple of championships. I still, they still clap for me. Still excited to see me when I walk around. I think more so now that I'm retired. I don't know. Maybe they're just happy I'm retired. Finally, yes. Thank you for finally retiring.
Eli, good to see you. Monday Night Manning. It's awesome. Really good. You've been doing it a long time ago. That's awesome.
But yeah, so it's a good spot. Obviously, he was just like in the honeymoon of what was going on. Everybody was so excited to have him here. Obviously, the media can easily turn on you if you're not playing well. Obviously, he's not going to have to deal with that. Got something much worse in this injury. But I think everybody was excited. Everybody, hard knocks and. Can you come after being somewhere for 18 years? Can you come to a new team and have the same success and get this team and get the Jets back to the playoffs after their long stretch of not making the playoffs?
Such a silver lining right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Guess what? That honeymoon phase is extended a whole nother year.
That's right.
Pretty cool.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen A. said yesterday, he said, New York is now going to tell Aaron, we will wait for you.
Yeah.
We will wait for you. So if Aaron is on the fence of like, do I want to commit to an 8-month, 9-month rehab that is going to be miserable and isolating to get back at the age of 40 to play again? Do I want to commit to that? Oh, New York is like, hey, you remember what we did there? Rangers game, Knicks game,
So fun.
Broadway, events. That's just another, you can roll your ass in there.
That's
We'll
right.
have a parking spot
Exactly.
for you and your little thing with the Achilles is going to need. They're going to love it. This moment here, Bob, and I assume you've had you've done this before, I assume, yeah?
I don't know if I've run out with the flag.
Oh, Eli hates America.
Wow.
Wow. What is it, Wednesday, September 13th?
Yep.
I didn't think I was strong enough. Like Justin Tutt got it, the linemen got it. They usually give it to the big boys. I wasn't strong enough to carry it. I needed some help. I gotta get in the weight room. I gotta get in the weight room like you. I'm not all jacked up like you, Pat.
I got some vitamins I can send you that'll help out. But
There you go.
I love that you love America so much, he said. I'm not strong enough to represent.
Let the big boys take it.
Let everybody. I respect that. You love America too much, almost. Darius, hell yeah. There's actually big news internationally about the NFL. We won't get into that now, but they just made a rule about next year starting. There's a spot for one international player on every single practice squad that's getting added to it. Like, I think the foreign soccer leagues have this, where there's only so many Americans allowed on the team, and I think the CFL has the same thing with how many Americans are allowed on the team. We're doing it now. We're opening up a spot for an international player who's either transferred over. He could transfer to America as a high schooler.
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years, and then he's able to make it, so that's good. We love them, too. Welcome to America. Yeah. Welcome to the greatest league. Great for growth, Eli. How much do they use you guys, the Mannings, because you're like the family of the NFL? Do you do a lot of international speaking, and do you go talk and represent the NFL in these other cities?
I haven't, but I'm up. I'm willing. I'm willing to learn how to do it. But since I retired, I haven't had to go over and go overseas too much. I've played 2 games in London, which was awesome, great experience. Went last year. The Giants played to London and enjoyed that, but I haven't. My international game is not strong right now, so I got to pump it up.
Dude, they love you in England. They would love you in England.
Oh, yeah.
The sense of humor,
Yeah.
I think you would crush it. Germany, too. Oh,
bet.
they're selling out arenas for shows that are kicking off NFL weekend. I mean, they love it over there. And they're speaking German, too. This isn't like American soldiers over there.
Right.
Okay.
It's like the actual Germans love it. They say nein to other sports.
Whoa.
But they say ja to football, which we love. Darius has a question for you about rookie football players.
Yeah, Eli, speaking of the Mannings being, kind of the family of the NFL, your pops obviously played a long time, big brother. You were very prepared, being a big-time quarterback, coming in number one pick. Got a lot of young quarterbacks starting off. Young, Richardson, Stroud. First of all, do they kind of pass the eye test with you? And what's the biggest adjustment for these big-time players coming into the NFL playing quarterback at this level?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just I think the schemes are pretty similar. I think the college game and the NFL game is not that much different. That's why I think it's, a lot of these young quarterbacks are coming in, they're starting right away game one, where that wasn't always the case. You kind of had quarterbacks, you'd sit them a little bit, let them, get used to the NFL game. But I think a lot of times, you're running similar plays. There's RPOs. The NFL game is kind of adjusted to the college game. But I think it's just the speed of the defensive rush. In college, if the team's just bringing four guys, you can sit back there. You can go kind of 1, 2, 3, like, hey, but you're waiting. It's like, all right, number one's not open. Number two's not open. I can get to 3. In the NFL, you got to see the coverage and kind of disregard number one if it has no chance of being open. You can't wait for guys to get, to see that they're covered and then get to progression. You got to start, knocking them out quickly and get through your progression so much faster. And that just takes time. And, it's different coverages, different schemes, different blitzes, more disguise. In college, you have 20 hours a week to put, towards practice and film watching. 20 hours in NFL, you get that in a day and a half. And so you just so much more time to put in these different schemes, where it just takes it takes a little bit getting used to how quickly you have to get to your progression and what are these defenses and what are they playing a little right now.
Yeah, they put clauses in contracts now for about the amount of
That's right.
film, and then you get rid of them, obviously. Adam Thielen came on like after watching your brother operate, and I didn't get to see you behind the scenes. I assume it's very similar because you're all kind of wired the same way when it comes to football. Not life, but football. It's like the amount of hours that dude put in. And then the movie theater, like right next to the kitchen, pretty much. Like, why is that? I need to, during dinner, I need to watch film in here. And it's like literally all he did was watch film. So when that contract came out with a clause about watching film, it's like, I think they're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
If that's what they're worried about. And what you said about guys knowing the progressions and then knowing something isn't available, Adam Thielen told us a story about Bryce Young in training camp or OTAs where he ran a route and Bryce Young was so quick. He was the third option. Bryce Young was so quick to him that when he came out of his break, the ball was already on him. And he said, I think I dropped it. I was not expecting it. He said, Bryce was there before I was. Like, Bryce knew the entire thing. Is that the most important part? I think the brain is the most important part. Obviously, got to be able to make every throw. But the brain is what we need to figure out whenever we're evaluating quarterbacks. Right, Eli?
Yeah, I think it's just how quickly they can process information, know the play, see the defense, know where they think the ball is going to go in this defense of going to the right spots and just, understanding, hey, I got a bad play here. Where's my check down? What's the best thing I can do? Hey, this is the perfect call. I got the perfect play. I'm taking my shot right here. And so just not forcing things and just be able to process that information and know everything going on when you're hot, knowing protection. So, those first couple of games, the mind is spinning. You're worried about, hey, what's my own play? What's my protection? What's the defense doing? And now you got to play football and still make good decisions and throw the ball accurately. So it'll get better. Those first couple of games, it's tough, but it'll start slowing down. You'll start understanding, like, kind of even just learning, like, what are my favorite plays? Like, what are my base plays? What are my 7 plays I want in the game plan every single week? I can tell the coordinator, this is my 1st and 10 completion play. Just getting comfortable with your base package, with your new offensive coordinator, and where your kind of breather plays, where you just know exactly, whatever the coverage is, where to go with the ball, and you can play fast.
Such a basic little piece of information to have. Like, these guys don't even know what they like yet. Yeah. And they probably won't until what, like 6 weeks, 5 weeks?
Yeah, I'd say kind of 5 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks. You start, you start having some success with some of these plays. Hey, let's call that one again. Like, yeah, I like this one. And sometimes like you can get too complex. And I understand you're trying to get a perfect, some perfect plays or hit some shot plays, but some of it's just, what are your 2-minute plays? Like those are probably the plays you've run the most. You've run the most during training camp. Everybody knows what to do. Everybody can play fast. Like sometimes, hey, just keep running those plays for a little bit and just find ways to get the guy some completions, get moving the ball, and then, let them. And then, all these guys are great athletes now. Let them run around and create some plays as well.
Yeah, just like you, Eli, great athlete. Now, a team that
Great
needs,
athlete.
yeah, great athlete. I saw this guy hit a golf ball.
Oh, baby.
Country.
330, like big high draw.
Man.
Pose, too. We're talking about pose.
Wrong guy.
No, that was you.
guy.
Pose. Full pose afterwards, too.
I like that one.
Held it.
And you don't know this if you're not around him. He's a big son of a bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What they say.
He's like always pictured next to Peyton, and Peyton obviously big too.
son.
Yeah.
So you don't just like automatically. That was my first time really standing around you, and then at the first tee you hit that monster drive, and it's like this dude is a monster.
Holy.
I had no idea that was the case. Your golf game still good?
It's strong. It's strong. Had some free time this summer, so got to play a little bit. So I enjoy it. It's a good. That's the competition I like now. Golf competition. I do not want to play football. I don't want to get hit. I don't want to rupture an Achilles. I don't want to get sacked 8 times.
Too soon, Eli.
Jesus.
Hey, a team that needs to figure it out quick is your old team. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Eli, Micah Parsons came out this week and was kind of criticizing or talking about how the Giants didn't protect Daniel Jones, specifically having him in the game up 40, or when they were down 40-0 and not protecting him there. What are your thoughts on that situation?
Obviously, just the whole situation was tough. You lose 40-0. There's always there's not much good you can take out from the game. I think probably Daniel, he's a competitor. I bet he wanted to stay in there, get something going. Hey, let's go get a drive here in the fourth quarter where we can go score and give us some confidence going into next week. Sometimes, I've been a part of games where you're down late in the fourth quarter. You haven't scored much. The game's over, but hey, let's go do something good. Let's get something positive. So I'm sure that was his mind thought. Just want to have something to build off. And unfortunately, that didn't happen either. So, I think as a quarterback, you want to be competitive. You want to stay in there and try to, make some plays, even if the game's out of reach.
Yeah, he got hit like 7 times. The game was way out of reach.
Brutal.
So the only plays that were being made was by the rubber pellets on the turf.
Yep.
And they were playing right with his face the entire time. Speaking of a guy that we got questions about, seems to be the same situation every year whenever it's not good. Ty has a question for you, Eli.
Yeah, Eli, the other guy you got to watch quarterback Monday night, Josh Allen. A lot of people have been talking about this week how he's, led the NFL in turnovers since he got in. And while he is a superstar, everyone understands that. He can make every throw on the field. A lot of people saying, like, hey, can this guy play within himself? Like, he's kind of putting himself in this same situation over and over again where they have opportunities to win, but then he makes some of these bonehead turnovers and kind of just can't hold on to the ball. Why is he doing this kind of stuff over and over again? What do you think he needs to do to kind of get over that hump?
Well, it's hard to argue with his success that he's had the last couple of years. I think the last 3 years they've been the top scoring offense. Or one of the top. But I think combined the 3 years total, I think they have led the NFL, and so he makes a lot of unbelievable plays, and so I think as a quarterback, a competitor, it's hard to be like, hey, keep making the unbelievable plays and the runs and the hurdles and like these great tight throws, like keep doing that, but just don't do. Have the bad play with it. You kind of, with one comes the other. Like you can't make a decision. I'm only going to make the unbelievable, throws. I think he does, have to learn to be a little bit more patient, and you can't force things. And he's, I think they're telling him, hey, don't run. I think you got to let him run. If he's told not to run, that means he's going to be throwing the ball, and that's when you start forcing stuff. Like you can't change his game too much. You let him run around, let him be an athlete, extend plays. Make the great throws down the field. Trust your receivers. So unfortunately, the Jets are a good defense. They had the best of them the other day, but he's still been so effective. He's still so explosive, and he's fun to watch. he'll bounce back and he'll get start having some great games and get back on track.
Interesting stat here from Hembo. Okay,
Ooh.
It is true. Josh Allen leads the NFL in turnovers since 2020 with 57. Also true. Josh Allen leads the NFL in touchdowns since 2020, 131. So to your point, Eli, literally everything you just, shout out to Hembo, by the way.
Hembo.
But to your point about everything you just said there with a gift and a curse, it's like there's greatness coming. All these teams that played bad here early, are we worried about them or what? Like Burrow didn't play great, Josh didn't play great, Kenny Pickett and the Steelers didn't play great. How much, Lamar and the Ravens get a win but didn't really play that great. Are we worried or no?
No, I don't think you're worried. I think it's you're not playing as much in the preseason game. This is that first game. You got the jitters. You got everything going on. It's unscouted looks against the defense, and so then everything starts to calm down. You game playing better. You get in a better feel. So Burrow has he didn't just not play preseason. He's missed a month of practice. Like that stuff. You don't just bounce back and you're just automatically on. It takes a little time. It was wet. It was raining some of these places. So, these guys will get it going again. And that's why, you play 17 weeks. You're not always going to be perfect. Some teams come out and are on fire week one, and then, you kind of settle in, and I think it'll all even out. And, these guys are, these top quarterbacks, there's a reason they're being paid so much. They're unbelievable players, and they'll start playing that way.
Hell yeah. And another team that we'll definitely have faith in, IBM.
Have to.
Of course.
With their artificial intelligence helping fantasy football people, as well as helping events like U.S. Open, Wimbledon, and the Masters.
Wow.
Shout out to IBM. Shout out to fantasy football. Shout out to Eli Manning. You're the best, ladies and gentlemen. 2-time Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer Eli Manning. Thank you, Eli. All right, hour one's wrapping up pretty quickly here. Hour two will be on the other side of this break. Whenever I say play.
There it is. There it is.
Yep.
Whenever I say that dude can hit a golf ball, buddy. Slaughters a golf ball.
Nice.
They were talking, though, as if he normally stinks. So I think it's a very new thing.
Okay.
Like, I think I saw the best Eli of all time. Seems like it's carried over. Congrats to him. Speaking of carry over, next hour, we got J.J. White, A.J. Hawk, and more. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take four.
Pat McAfee sell on your stunner at WrestleMania. Stunner! Where does that rank all time? That's got to be pretty up there.
Man, top three. And I got to say top three because The Rock, number one, the way he oversold, and Scott Hall and some of the other guys that took it. But I mean, Pat has a natural feel for the business, epic performer, great on the stick.
I apologize that you're a punk bitch.
Athletically, that match he had with Theory was awesome. And then the kicker was not only the sell of the stunner, but to lay there selling, still guzzling the beer, the presence of mind to ad lib and improvise and like this is a moment without even thinking about it. I think he's amazing. He's very entertaining. And as a human being, I like him a whole lot. And here's an off-the-record story. The second night that we were at Mania, I was just planning on drinking whiskey with my Broken Skull Sessions crew. And so we had a bottle all lined up, and we were just going to drink during the show and show respect to the people that were working. Well, Vince called me into his room and said, hey, man, would you come out in the end, stun me, McAfee, and Theory? And I said, sure. So I couldn't drink until after the show. Okay. So the show happens, I go out there, stun all those cats. Brock Lesnar gets done with his match, the main event with Roman Reigns. And me and Brock have been wanting to bond together and have a few cocktails to begin with. And he goes, hey man, you got anything? I said, yeah. I said, where are we meeting? He goes, my locker room. So it was myself, Brock Lesnar, Larry, one of the trainers who's been there forever, Larry, and Pat McAfee.
What a day, what a dream, what a life. Now I'm going to have a couple more Steve Weisers. White, maybe a little whiskey. White.
And we took down a fifth. We just passed the bottle around. At first we were drinking out of little cups. Then it just turned into the bottle. And we took down a fifth at Maker's Mark in about an hour. And then we all went our separate ways.
And we fucking did it.
And I heard through the grapevine that a couple of those guys will come with severe headaches.
Really, and I don't want to undersell this, really hungover. You know what I mean?
From what you had inside the ring that we saw on camera, and then what was there a thing afterwards?
Well, there might have been, yeah, a lot afterwards.
But it was a bonding moment, after a big show like that of 4 guys, and I just time.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Trenches Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. Hour 2 of this program starts now. Football! Is it happening tonight? The weekend of greatness will start tomorrow night, but today our show is jam-packed. Not only is the Toxic Table here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt, one half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here, 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion, a man who's lost 60 pounds since April.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, AQ Shipley's here.
Thank you.
In the Trenches will be in the third hour on YouTube and ESPN+. 9-year NFL veteran, host of Everything DB, and a show that you should check out.
That's right.
Damn right.
And yeah, I'm talking to every human that's watching right now because none of you have. And it's disgusting. I'm sick of it. NFL matchup, this man is one of the hosts, Darius J. Butler.
Yeah, D-Butt.
Great to see you, D-Butt.
Hey,
This
good to
week's
see you,
NFL matchup, the best one
Damn right.
that I've
Fire.
seen. It's only getting better, too. It's unbelievable. Joining us now from Antic in Ohio is a man who's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner. Although America lost, he won. Right?
Okay.
That's right.
Did his part.
Won the battle, lost the war.
Exactly.
His battle was a dub because he's the current president of Ohio. He's a COVID survivor, father of 10, and the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. Wow. Can't wait to see what his face looks like right now. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. Yeah, you look good.
Wow.
Supercut?
Everything seems to be okay. Hey, AQ's looking good, man. He looks good on camera.
You're
How
talking
much
about
does he weigh?
AQs?
Thanks, AJ.
AQs?
AQ, how much you weigh?
250-ish.
That ain't true.
Yeah, that's baloney.
That is not real.
Come on.
That ain't real.
Just be honest.
He's got an XL hoodie on that runs small that is baggy. He looks incredible right now. It's a whole new human. Is this forever now? Is this your life?
That's the goal. I said that before, though, and I yo-yoed. So
Nice.
We got to really keep this one on track.
Well,
I don't want to give away too much kayfabe, but that microphone you lean into, not plugged in. What?
I was making it seem like it was real.
Yeah, I appreciate you buying it.
I was buying in full.
I appreciate you working that.
Yeah.
I really do. That is an incredible thing. We didn't have a wire, but we got to, you get it. AJ, big news of the day is that Aaron Rodgers and you have talked, and Aaron Rodgers and you have decided that he's playing football again.
Okay.
Or that he's retiring. What is it, AJ?
None of those. I have not heard anything like that from Aaron Rodgers.
Come on.
Like I said, my opinion is I would hope and I would think that he's going to play next year.
Yeah, but at what point? We're on ESPN now.
Yeah.
AJ, we're on
That's
ESPN.
what I'm saying.
We
You
need
can't
it.
be throwing it out there. You can't be throwing it out there and saying, me and Aaron have talked and we said you're coming back. Like, that's not a thing.
Why don't you do some journalism? Huh? Why don't you do some journalism? One time.
I guess, yeah, there's journalism, there's friends, and there's sources. I got to figure out what's what, right? We had a great guy tell us that before.
Ian Rappaport, who has his own show right now. Everybody's watching.
Yeah.
We're really happy for him.
great show. Definitely seen it before.
Just a little bit of journalism, though, is all we ask. Okay, do you remember the people that lost their jobs specifically so they could pay me? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Great journalists, people that learn stuff. And now we got a guy who's texting and FaceTiming all night with a guy that we're all considering about, and you just won't do it. How is he, though? Is he good?
Yeah, I think he's all right. You know, I mean, I would imagine he's a bit shocked by the whole situation, trying to figure it out. But
Okay.
I would assume it takes some time to kind of figure out what you're going to do next and where you're even, what the next step might even be.
Okay, so whenever he says, I imagine, right afterwards, he's not going to get caught lying.
No.
Okay, so in shock, doesn't really know, thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we thank you, AJ.
Thank you, Hawk.
Thank you, AJ.
Good update.
We really do appreciate that. All right, let's start diving in to some news stories around the NFL. We obviously saw Matthew Stafford talk to his team with a potty mouth yesterday.
Gross.
The video hit the internet after the Rams get a big-time win over the Seattle Seahawks, which not a lot of people saw coming because the team has been decimated pretty much. There's only 4 guys that you really know on that team that won a Super Bowl. They haven't been able to keep up payment-wise, contract, salary cap-wise. They haven't had many picks. Now it's Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, and the 3rd youngest team in the NFL, the Los Angeles Rams. They get a huge win. Huge win. Matthew Stafford talks to the boys. A lot of conversation happening about this team. They don't know anything. With about 5 to 6
F bombs.
What?
Didn't love that.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
His reporting of anything. He is a news aggregator, so he will find the NFL. If you don't want to follow a bunch of different sources, we'll say, there's about 10 of these accounts on the internet right now that I don't think they sleep. They have notifications set to every single team, every single insider, every single player, every single team. And as soon as news breaks, they find it and they will go according to. Not all of them do the according to, though. Some of them act as if they break their own news. We will say they have been wrong, though, just like any insider. So we will set the precedent here on ESPN that if we read any tweets from any of these news aggregators, they have certainly not been 100% right in the past in their reporting. With that being said, feels like this is one we could potentially believe because Matthew Stafford would be a great story for a quarterback, especially with how young the team is, where he is in his career, already has a Hall of Fame pedigree, already has respect from his peers and from coaches, already rich, already everything. So he would be a perfect person for quarterback. With what we learned last year from Patrick Mahomes and Kirk Cousins and Marcus Mariota, that's tough. That was a tough go. I didn't enjoy watching it.
No.
Not at all.
I knew how it was going to end. Spoiler, as I'm watching it, this is going to end bad.
Yeah.
This guy's getting benched. He's going to go missing.
Exactly.
And then some people enjoy that. I did not. But what we learned from Patrick Mahomes and Kirk Cousins last year, what do you think we learned from Matthew Stafford? I think it's a great move for him. And congrats to Peyton in Omaha getting a guy to say yes.
Unreal.
Because I heard that was a problem, AJ.
I think Stafford's the perfect kind of guy because of where he's at in his career. He's got a ring. He's been a great, great player for many years. So I think guys like that feel comfortable speaking and being more open, I guess. They're not worried what a coach might say, how the media might react. And I think when superstars get older and we get to see like their authentic self. I talk about it, Kobe Bryant. Like later in his career, Kobe would give, in every interview he gave, it felt like, he's being super real and super honest. And some people loved it. I loved it. And I think we'll see something like that from Stafford.
Rest in peace to Kobe. But anytime they start sharing game, like that's why, like Saban coming on the show every single Thursday. And I don't want to say end of career because he could coach for another 10 years. He has not told us absolutely anything. So I'm not even going to dive into that whole thing. But the reaction from the crowd, a lot of people that heard the announcement were like, oh, he's retiring. He would have never done this at the beginning of his career. And I feel like that's with Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford never talked to anybody. Matthew Stafford was super almost quiet. He was in Detroit. This guy loves ball. He has a broken neck, broken back, broken rib, broken arm. He's going to continue to play. I'm very pumped for this. And this is good for the Stafford brand. Can't wait for the world to meet one of our toughest football players. With that being said, their team's very young. The offensive line was a massive problem last year. Probably the reason why they were so bad was because of an offensive line that wasn't able to get back on the right step after losing Whitworth and a couple others after the Super Bowl. Do the Rams have a chance to be good? Because that Marcus Mariota thing on quarterback was miserable.
Yeah.
If the Rams are miserable, which I don't think they're going to be, obviously they don't think they're going to be, they're actually F-wording everybody outside is saying they're not going to be good. What do you think of this Rams team? And did they fix the offensive line ultimately? That's going to be the true test, right?
I like what they did. They went out and got Steve Avila from TCU, who is a brawler in the middle, and he played really well in week 1. They got healthy at all the positions that they need, and I think they only gave, you should check your stats on this, but like 4 or 5 pressures out of 40 dropbacks. It was pretty impressive against a Seattle team, and they got all these young receivers that are stepping up and making plays.
What on defensive side, though? Did we learn anything about them? They lose Jalen Ramsey.
Yep.
Obviously, we know that.
Taylor Rapp as
Aaron
well.
Donald's still there.
Aaron Donald's kind of on a revenge tour right now. I don't think they gave up a yard passing in like the third quarter. It was crazy. And obviously, you know
What?
That's absurd.
That's a himbo stat.
Yeah, it was. Somebody's got to go look it up. But I saw at some point late in the third quarter, it was like -1 passing yard that they had given up, and we know the weapons in Seattle with DK, Jackson Smith, and Tyler Lockett. But so they did some good things on defense. I'm interested to see how Stafford obviously navigates the relationship with his teammates, and obviously we've always heard he's a great leader.
Sure.
We saw him call up the huddle, but remember the story that came out about it being an issue. We know they're one of the youngest teams in the league, so now we'll see behind the scenes of how he navigates that, which is important.
You're talking about Kelly?
Yeah.
You talking about Kelly Stafford?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
for
real
podcast,
report.
right?
He's a superstar.
Yeah.
It's a good podcast.
Yeah.
Great podcast.
Love it.
She's a dog too.
Need more.
Yeah, she beat cancer.
Yeah. We'll find out about the Rams this week.
There's a chance. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to out her.
Niners, right?
That's not the right.
Why not? No. What?
Say it. You're going to say it.
Yeah.
Me, Stafford, Foxy, we had a great couple nights together.
Love the Stafford.
Love-
And that's what I was going to say. Teammates have always loved Matthew Stafford, in Detroit especially, win or lose, which makes me think we'll love this quarterback series with him.
Which makes me think that he's able to relate to the younger players on the team, even though Kelly said on her podcast, probably as a joke, we don't know what the context was. Like, yeah, the locker room is vastly different than when he was drafted in 2009.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, he's just
55,
My draft class. First pick overall.
That's all of us.
$55 million he got.
Yeah, all of us.
We did not. We did not get the $55 million.
What happened?
That was old CBA. That was the CBA that AJ got, 5 overall. He got like $65 million or so.
Gee.
Man, you deserved it. You deserved it. A lot of cloth on those suits. Gotta pay. Somebody's got to pay for it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Joining us now is a man who signed his fair share of deals.
That's right.
Large ones.
Yeah. Record setting.
This guy was running to the bank more than he was running to the quarterback. But the reason why he was doing that is because the way he got to the quarterback was unlike anything we had seen for decades. This man came in as a brawler, a shit talker, a man who could get around the edge and run you over. And the night he was drafted, he was booed.
Whoa.
Unbelievable.
City did not want him.
No.
What would he do later? Oh, whenever that city needed somebody, he would step up and help all his citizens because he felt as if he was just a member of the community down there. You would watch the Houston Texans play a game in person, and every single commercial that would run on the Jumbotron had J.J. Watt on it. You know, sometimes teams will have like car dealerships that go ahead and get local sponsorships or like a local doctor or a local lawyer, and they'll team up with a player. You know, and that player would do an ad read for a local thing, and then there'll be a picture on it. Every company in Houston did a deal with this guy. And there was a reason this guy was the culture. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us every single week, today being the first time, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, future Hall of Famer, J.J. Watt. Yeah! You look sweet. You look sweet. You look sweet.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm very happy to be here, guys. Thanks for having me. Very, very excited about this. And you look jacked, Matt.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I am right now. I'm putting into work. I feel like a Wyatt, you know what I mean? But like that guy over there, he's up every morning 4 a.m. too. He's starting to wear more stuff because I think he's getting more jocked and more lean. We're just trying to be the most fit show because by the end of the season, I'm probably going to be 270, 280 of just slob. So right now, we need to enjoy it. Let's talk about this season, JJ. How's Burnley doing, huh? How we doing?
Here we go.
How we doing?
We're having fun.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. We're coming out of the international break now. We've had a little bit of a rough start. We played the best team in the world to start the season, which was a tough start.
Yeah.
But we've had the international break to get some of our new signings accustomed to our team, learning our style. And I'm really looking forward to the matchup against Nottingham coming up. And that's a big one for us.
Nottingham's a big one. Oh, hey, Nottingham, when they come to town, though, boy,
gritty.
Hope that Burnley squad's ready because in the crowd, there's going to be some shenanigans.
Throwing fists.
From the hooligan.
Oh, yeah. I feel like we got a hooligan crew right here. If we took this crew over there, we could do some damage.
Yeah. First flight to Scotland, I'd go.
Right away.
It's in England. Actually, I should probably learn if England and Scotland are the same thing.
Yeah, see? That's not good.
Yeah.
You're an owner over there. You're one of the faces of the team. I mean, we can't have that. I would love to go watch.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
A McAfee Show live from Turf Moor in Burnley. I mean, just dream stuff someday. Someday we'll get you there, boys.
Hell yeah. That would be a dream.
All in.
What part of that's in England? Yeah, we're in England.
Yeah, it's up just outside of Manchester. It's up in northern England.
Oh, Manchester.
Oh, okay.
Of course. We know Manchester.
Yeah, no, you guys.
We love Manchester. That's one of our favorite places.
New Hampshire.
All right, let's dive into some American football. You know, no offense, football. This weekend, your brother went ham. Now, I assume this is something that you expected. It was also revealed that he beat your number of games to get the 80 sacks record by like 4 games or 5 games or something like that. You had an NFL record. Your little brother beats it. I assume this is something you enjoy seeing, or is it still competitive banter about your career being greater than his career, him trying to catch you, fall in pools? What is the relationship between you and TJ? And how do you genuinely feel about TJ in the history books of the NFL as a pass rusher?
No, I'm extremely happy for him. We give him plenty of shit as a brother, as a friend, as like there's lots of stuff. He sent a text message to me and Derek of his entrance where he does the jump, and he said like highest vertical jump in the family. That you get a lot of shit for when you text it in the group.
Yeah,
but passing my records, and anytime you're mentioned alongside Reggie White amongst things, like I'm elated for him. And he's going to start passing my records at a much greater clip now because he's entering the point of his career where I had all my injuries start to stack up. So he's going to blow by a bunch of them. And I'm happy for him. I watched this offseason as rankings come out, as all these, who's the best defensive player of the NFL, and he's getting listed 4th, 5th on these lists. And I'm sitting there like, are you guys nuts? Like, are you guys literally nuts? And then he goes out there and he just reminds everybody real quickly why he's the best defensive player in the world. And 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, they had a very, very tough day. The 49ers played incredibly well. And they're an unbelievable team. But he is picking up right where he left off, and he's going to have an incredible year.
Fun to watch. Go ahead, AJ.
JJ, do we know anything about these teams yet? I know we had Overreaction Monday. We love to talk about what's going on. Oh, this team, we bury teams after week 1. We crown some teams the champ. How long do you think until we actually know like the identity of some of these teams?
I always think back to some of those Patriots teams with Tom, and they would start out, they'd start out rough. They'd be 2-4 after 6 weeks, and people would be like, "What's going on?" And then they'd run on and win the Super Bowl. Some of these teams, you have to give them time. You have to let them learn each other. You have to let them learn the playbook, gel. Let these coaches figure out what's working. Every single year in the league, there's some new plays that come out. There's some new styles of offensive plays that people are running. There's some new blitzes that defenses are running. As these coaches figure that out and as these players get accustomed to it, they'll get more comfortable. But at the same time, you can't discount it. You can't just say like, no, we're just going to forget week 1. I mean, the Bengals had a very rough week 1. The Steelers had a very rough week 1.
I'd say.
How do you bounce back from that?
Giants.
The Giants had a very rough week 1.
Buddy.
So how do you bounce back from that? That'll tell you a lot about your team. I think how you bounce back in week 2. I mean, the Giants, that one, you got to bounce back quick and fast and violently.
It was only on prime time. Nobody saw it either.
That's all.
You know what I mean? It was
no, and it wasn't against like America's team or anything. It's not like that's a heated rivalry or anything. So all those stats that came out, like for those stats that were like, this has never happened in one season, along with this and this and this, and then everybody was like, oh yeah, they all happened in the same game. That was bananas.
Let's talk about a young guy in Houston who got drafted very high. And I know, obviously, you have ties to Houston. I think you went into what'd you go into? You went into something.
A couple of weeks, we're going to go in the Ring of Honor down there.
Wow.
Very appreciate it. Thank you. But yes, I would like to talk about
before we just talk to the new Ring of Honor, let's talk to you getting into the Ring of Honor. Like, when they would play Turn Down for What, did you just get so jacked? You know what I mean? Like they would, it was every single,
crazy.
A big play happens, and he was normally a part of it, whether it was offense, defense, or somehow special teams. He was everywhere. This dude was everywhere in Houston. And then we obviously experienced it every single year. It was a massive game against Houston. It was normally for the division. They would turn on Turn Down for What, and all of Houston would lose their shit. Babies in hospitals would start standing up and dancing in there. Are they going to, do you expect that is what it's going to be when you walk out there, right? And you're going to have to do a full, you're going to have to go back, you're going to gonna have to. You're gonna have to do it, bro. Do the song and dance whenever they play the song.
Like Tom, like when Tom went and did the
Bingo.
LFG.
Boom. Exactly. You see how good he looked, by the way. He was running with no
man.
There was no limps.
Looked great.
There was no like.
The man looks
whole
good.
new body.
It's a good-looking human being.
You gotta bust your nose though.
Yeah.
You gotta bust your nose.
Yes.
You gotta go do the whole thing. What is it gonna be like whenever you go down there? Have you guys talked about it? Do you know what to expect?
It's going to be good, man. It's going to be really good. I'm so excited. You know, I just went to the facility there for the first time since I left last week, and it felt good to be back in that building. You know, you leave, and obviously there were some rough years there near the end, and they've gone through a rough period down there in Houston. But to know D'Amico's in charge, to know that they've got this thing turned around, and they're now working towards being in the right direction, it feels really good, and I'm happy for that fan base. I'm happy for that city, and I mean, I say this, and I'd say it every time I go to Houston. It truly feels like a family when I step off that plane in Houston. I mean, every single person, from the flight attendants to the people working in the airport to the fans, it's literally like I'm coming home. And they all say, you know, they're happy to see me. I'm so happy to see them. And I love it. So I'm very excited to get back in front of those fans.
Hell yeah, dude. Congratulations. A lot of people work their asses off for a lot of different dreams. You're going to go into the Hall of Fame. We all know that. But for your team to recognize you, especially with how it ended, you know, the whole thing happened at the end, to come back, it is a nice full circle moment, especially because anybody that watched you play down there, you were you were Jackie Moon. You were you know what I mean? You were the halftime entertainment. What are we going to do? We're going to show J.J. Watt highlights for 6 minutes. And then we're going to play turn down for what? And he's going to come out, Dougie, here we go. He's going to have a touchdown on offense. He's going to have a forced fumble. He's going to block a field goal. And then he's going to bleed. And then he's going to talk shit the whole time. That is what the Houston Texans were for what? 10? How long were you there?
I was there for 10 years.
That was a decade of Houston Texans football. I mean, it was remarkable. Congrats. Let's talk about this next decade, though, with D'Amico Wright.
Thank you. Yes.
Shut up. Former team of yours is the head coach. They go big, draft early, a guy that can get to the quarterback. Everybody said this dude was a grown man in college at Alabama. They're certainly missing him now, seemingly down there. What did you see from Will Anderson that made you go, I'm thinking this guy's good?
Yeah, Will is a grown man. I want you to look at this play. He literally carries another grown man to a sack here. This is his first career sack. He's going around the edge. The offensive tackle holds him. Will literally carries him as he bends the corner. Look at the bend. The elite level bend here is incredible. Not many guys are able to do that, let alone do it with a 330-pound guy on your back. Turns the corner, gets the sack on one of the hardest quarterbacks to sack in the entire league. And you can tell he's excited about it. There's many, many more of those.
So is this just what he does, huh? Is he going to have the power game as well, you think?
I do. I think that's probably the part that translates. It takes a little bit longer to translate because, I mean, NFL offensive linemen are just a little bit different, obviously. But I do think he has that power. But when you have that elite ability to turn like that and to have that ankle flexion, that you can't teach that.
Why is he holding him, AQ? Get off of him,
what the
AQ.
heck?
Stop holding him, AQ.
Listen, at some point, you got to do what's best to save your quarterback. And I appreciate that. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Would you recommend that he false starts or lines up in the backfield like we have seen?
You mean like all the clips where every single time they do it frame by frame, the ball and the players moving at the same time? Now, I can't argue.
Every single time.
I can't argue about where he lined up, though. I can't argue about where he lined up. Because he lined up as a tailback.
We're on ESPN. We're on ESPN.
Yeah, have some couth.
Okay, can't just lie.
I reposted one.
One.
Ball.
Okay.
One.
Player.
One.
Move. Same time. Look at this.
One.
Look at that. Same time.
AQ's just muting everybody that's showing him like the early jumps. Oh,
No.
Everyone I saw.
Yeah,
you must watch film more than me.
Look at this one.
Players.
Look at this one. He was on sides.
Now, why was he lined up in the backfield?
That's a great question. But if you're going to get away with it, keep doing it.
Damn right.
Yeah. Amen. Yep. If I could get away with lining up 2 yards across the ball, I would do it too.
No doubt. No doubt.
So I guess, I said yesterday that the refs had a pretty good weekend. They weren't really the conversation. And then the first thing I hear out of AQ is, I'm about sick of these tripping calls whenever guys roll up. And then I hear you. These guys are lined up in the backfield. There's always going to be bickering, I guess, about how offensive line, defensive line is called. And do you think it's gotten better, or do you think it's only going to get worse?
I think that we've just come to understand it. I mean, it's an offensive league. We know that. So, like holding, I understand. I'm going to get held. They're not going to call holding calls because you could call it on every play, and that would be boring for the fans. It'd be boring for everybody. I do think that the opening night of the NFL, having so much focus on that specific topic with the ref and the offensive tackle, that probably wasn't ideal for the league or for anybody. And I think it could have been easily answered with a quick flag in the first or second quarter and then boom, nipped in the bud. I don't think they should have waited till the last drive of the game.
Oh, it matters now.
That was crazy.
It's almost like the ref was setting them up. Like, everybody's talking about it. Just wait. There's going to come a time. Oh, you guys need one. Got it. First and 20. How about it? Good luck out there. Go ahead, AJ.
TJ, what about your old squad, the Arizona Cardinals?
Whoa. Jeez Louise, Hawker.
Doing a lot of stuff on ESPN.
Wait,
I am unaware of whatever's going on this, your guys' inside jokes or what's happening.
Get the guy's name right, you sack of shit.
You sack of wine, Hawk.
in the ring of honor.
It's a compliment.
I'm gonna let it slide because of the jawline. You have a phenomenal jawline.
Wow.
So no problem.
And trust me, I know
what was the question?
Well, I didn't get to it, but I see you with the planes, trains, and automobiles jacket. I'm the only one on this show that would understand what that is.
Wrong.
So, respect to your time.
Right.
Certainly on the screen right now. Yeah.
You're scrambling to save the screwed up.
Dennis Gardeck had two sacks in that game. Your old teammate in Arizona. That guy was all over the field. I watched that film. I couldn't believe the amount of hustle and just pure power this dude plays with. And he's been in the league like 5-6 years. Is he going to have like a monster year?
Dennis is awesome, man. You would love Dennis. He is just like a barbarian. He is going to do literally whatever it takes to get there. He's a special teams monster. He's been a captain for years down there because guys love him. He's tenacious. He'll do anything to get to the ball. And I think when outsiders looked at that Arizona Cardinals defensive line and outside linebacker situation, they probably said that's going to be one of the weaknesses of that team. And then they go out there and they have 6 sacks and they're pressuring the quarterback like crazy. So they played extremely well. Dennis with 2 sacks was awesome to see. I love that guy. And I hope he goes off. I hope he has just a ton. You know, those special teamers that can do stuff, but then he actually shows, just give him the reps. He can go out there and sack the quarterback. I love it. I hope he gets tons.
Hey, that place is a dumpster fire, huh?
A little bit.
A dumpster fire out there? Or what do we it's hot, I guess. It's really hot.
They almost won. Like everybody, like all the tanking and everything, but they almost went out there in week 1 when nobody thought they would have won. Now the defense played extremely well. The offense has to pick it up a little bit to help them out, but there's no secret. They're not built to be, a 12-win team or anything.
Why?
Because of all the buses that go.
Bro, it's a beautiful city.
It is.
It's like a great city. I love the place. You would think they'd be able to bring in free agents if they wanted to easily because people want to live out there. I just don't understand why. Every year it's like, Cardinals are going to stink. Cardinals are going to stink. Cardinals paid their quarterback. Cardinals are going to stink. Yep. Like that is kind of the new narrative about it. You were in the building. What is that changeable?
It's tough. When I came down here, I saw a team that had potential. I wanted to help that team realize the potential. And then we started out 7-0. And I was like, I saw it. Nobody else saw it. I saw it. Yeah, I was like, I knew it. I knew this team had potential. And then obviously we went through some struggles. And then last season was really bad. And it all just kind of went downhill from there. So I agree with you. I mean, free agents, I don't know how you don't want to live in Arizona. I don't know how you don't want to go down there. It's just you gotta win in this league, man. It's all about winning, and it's a struggle right now.
Speaking of a team that didn't come close to winning, you know what I mean? Tone Diggs, Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Yes, JJ. It wasn't. Have you talked to TJ this week? What's the morale? Because I assume he doesn't care about his sacks. I assume he only cares about the win. I don't know if you noticed there was a certain 5-tech, 3-tech who went on the IR. Not a question there. I just wanted to mention that Cam Hayward went on the IR. But what's the vibes coming from TJ?
He is incredible, and he's a massive help to that defense, obviously. I do think Keontae Neal filled in well, and I think he's going to fill in very well. Badgers have success up there. I mean, they just drafted Herbig as well, who looked incredible in the preseason. He has some of that bend we were talking about with Will Anderson. But it's tough up there. I have talked to TJ, and, the thing that Mike Tomlin does best is the standard is the standard. So they're going to go in there and they watch that film on Monday, and you don't hold back on anybody. Every single player is getting evaluated. Every single player is being told what they did wrong, and now you go out there and fix it. And you look at some of these last couple of seasons, Tomlin has turned teams around. There's a reason he hasn't finished below 500 in like 16 years or something, because he's a damn good coach. So I'm not worried about him, but that was not a good performance on Sunday.
You playing for him?
I'm enjoying this job. I would have to
You did
leave
great
this,
on
so-
CBS. You did great on CBS. Good suit game, too. But we also see that you're a psychopath still working out in the same exact way as if you were still playing. In Pittsburgh, is just naturally saying, hey, you know what? J.J. Watt's going to play for the Steelers whenever we make a run. His brothers are there. It's going to be natural. Cam Hayward gets hurt. There's a spot seemingly open. J.J.'s going to be a Steeler. That's good.
I love the city of Pittsburgh. I love the people there. I love the way that they treat my brother. I love the history, the tradition. I have so much respect for that place. It is incredible. I'm enjoying being retired. It's great.
It sounds like there's a chance.
Yeah.
Sounds like don't give up,
Not a
Yinzers.
no.
Can hear it.
Don't give up. Yeah, did not hear a no there. And by the way, Home Alone, final answer.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, there we go.
Home Alone,
Gus
final.
Polinski.
Planes, trains, automobiles, okay,
John
TJ,
Candy, we
I
get
know.
it. We get it. I know John Candy. Big fan.
Yeah, the guy doesn't like to fly. He's in the back of the truck with mom, worst mom in history.
That's
not
both,
great.
both
Like-
band in the.
That lady was so bad at being a mom.
Yeah,
Brutal.
Not great.
Now that I'm a parent, I'll say, wife certainly kicking ass. Could you imagine being as bad as them? No, never.
Not just once, 2 times.
No, just child services needed to be sent in there immediately. I don't know how that even.
Do you
happened.
imagine having that many kids?
No.
I mean, having one now, like imagine having 9 or whatever they had.
Never. I was watching this. Who's that freak family that they were on?
The Grizzlies?
No, the
Duggars?
yeah, there it is. The Duggars. The Duggars. I was watching the Duggars. That's like a religion thing. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, we need a producer so we can take over.
Yeah.
It's like your family's going to do that. All I see is just a miserable life for the next 50 years, and then they start going behind the scenes. It was like, well, Dad didn't see those kids until they got a lot older.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no parenting happening. They're all working out there. It's crazy. One daughter for me, boy. You got a boy, right?
Good boy.
Yes, sir.
Strong boy.
Young boy.
A good boy. He's good. Is that boy going to play?
Big boy.
Boy, is he going to play football?
boy.
Is that boy going to play football?
Be a good boy.
He's not gonna. I don't think he needs to be too big to play soccer. I think he's gonna keep.
Mom, great soccer player, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I hope he has her speed, athleticism, and agility. Put that with my size. We might have something there.
Wow.
Okay.
Are we homeschooling too, so we don't even have to worry about academia, or what are we doing?
No, we're tossing him into school. We need him to get roughed up a little bit. Rough some people up, rough up.
Yeah. Also, get out of the house. You know what I mean? You do that. I was watching TJ Watt's highlights.
That's the truth.
From this past week, of course. Yeah, COVID. Everybody's Zoom teaching. Like, all right, we're done with this. I don't know how that happened. I was thinking about Sally and Tim McAfee having to do that with me. No shot. No shot. So shout out to all the parents out there.
He crushed it.
Shout out to all the parents out there. I was watching one of TJ's sacks, and boy, did it look eerily similar to another Watt that has been out there. This was his second sack now. The move he makes, the get off he does, but the double hand swipe, JJ, this was your baby, was it not? And do you guys work on this?
Yes, this was my baby. I love the double hand swipe around the edge, especially when an offensive lineman opens up that gate for you at 2 or 3 yards. So you can just swipe the hands, get around the corner, get the sack. We do talk about it. We do work on it. He came and visited me this offseason. We did some pass rush work together. He has an arsenal of moves. He can do a bunch of different things. And this is one that he's added in, I would say, the last year or two. And it's just another thing that he can do. And look at that. You just swipe the hands down, guy opens up the gate, and it's straight to the quarterback with a chance to knock that ball out. Nothing better than the free run with the ball just sitting there.
Okay, so you said you guys worked in the summer. We actually pulled this up. Were you working on that move here? No, not here. Well, look at you boys there. Were you working on that move here? Literally, that's it, right?
That's it. That's a double swipe right there. We were working the double swipe, and then you turn the corner. Oh yeah, zoom in. There's
Wait. I can't. I gotta zoom out here.
Stopped working.
What the hell is this, dude?
My God.
Is that a thigh? Is that a thigh right there?
That's what you got. That's what you got on your arm right now. You're hanging off your shoulder.
Oh, there's the TJ. Is that the work? That's the actual move you guys are working on a golf course right there?
Yeah, we were. There's a patch of grass right in front of my house. Yeah, and notice we're not in the fairway. We're staying in the rough. Respect, of course.
Appreciate that.
Amen.
Could you imagine golfing and then like people see alligators on the course and I saw a guy getting tracked by a hyena the other day in some other country or whatever. Could you imagine teeing off, walking down, and then just seeing, oh, those are the two biggest whites I've ever seen. What is that thing? What are those? Like, oh, that's the what? The what?
Who?
The what? The what? I would assume it's a pretty nice neighborhood, nice golf course.
Yeah.
So you're actually working on this stuff and then seeing it translate in the game immediately for TJ. Is your position a craft position? Like people can make actual leaps quickly at your position? And how much room does TJ have to still grow, or is he at his peak right now?
No, I think you definitely can, and especially at the level that he's at. He's now at the point where he's refining things and he's adding just the tiniest little things to take him from already the best to even better. And to me, the thing that I love about him the most, and the thing that is so significant for him moving forward, is that he still wants to improve. He still wants to get better. He wants to find that little one move, or he wants to find that little tip or key that he can get. And that's the sign of the great ones. And he's got that. He's always working. It's pretty badass to watch and to see, and then to talk to him after the games and be like, what were you thinking on this move? Why'd you try this one? It's really cool.
Did you ever say, like, maybe you should go play offense? You know?
Ooh.
Did you say, hey, you know what, TJ? Get 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and then be the offensive coordinator as well. You know, because I think that would really, if you were to not play D-line for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you just took the offensive coordinator job, I think you're still
fine.
Still loved in Pittsburgh out there. Ty has a question for you, JJ.
Yeah, JJ, there's a lot of chatter about Jaylen Carter kind of just being dropped in there this weekend and dominating right away. Lucas Van Ness for the Packers looks like he could potentially be the long-lost Watt brother. Looks very similar to you guys.
Why is that?
Well, for one, he's white. And he's also very explosive, very athletic. They're calling him Hercules. So, you know, I mean, just body type looks very similar to you guys. But for these young guys who are being dropped in there right away and are expecting to produce, how long does it take a rookie D lineman to acclimate to kind of the size and strength of NFL offensive linemen?
Well, let me tell you, Jaylen Carter doesn't seem to need much time at all to acclimate. The guy is tossing people around. He's polished. I mean, he's doing some. Look at this. Look, this is. Wow. He literally is just about to throw somebody out of the way. Like that is an NFL offensive lineman. He is just taking one arm, swatting him out of the way. A little bit reminiscent of a Deacon Jones head slapper. He doesn't quite get the head, but that. When you got that type of power and that ability to move like Jaylen Carter does, oh, here we go.
Oh, look at that guy. Football was football.
What a move. Just
smacking him out.
Stockton slap.
But Jaylen has done an unbelievable job, and that's a guy that I'm really looking forward to watch because of how good he is, how early. It really is impressive, man. And to be that big and that athletic and also have some of the polished moves that he's got, it's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, they're calling him a rhino. They're saying this dude doesn't even know he's a rhino. Strength is obviously, like, I guess whenever we just talked to Eli Manning and we talked to him, we're like, hey, I think whenever we're trying to evaluate these quarterbacks, obviously the throws, everything, we're trying to figure out the brain. Like the brain is the most important thing whenever it comes to quarterback. That's why you see guys like Purdy just drop in and figure it out. Now, does Purdy have a stronger arm than everybody else in the NFL? No. Does Purdy is faster than anybody? No. But Purdy knows exactly what he's doing. Like that's the key thing, I think, whenever we talk about quarterbacks. For defensive line, strength is obviously we need it. That's the most important part.
Having played the position, I can tell you it's definitely not brains, that's for sure. All we have to do is chase the ball around, man. It's a sweet gig. I always tell people, like, we have the easiest job because any play call, they literally just tell us where to line up and that's it. Everybody else has like 15 words they have to know. AJ's job was impossible. I don't even know how you do rush and coverage all at the same time. But us up front, it's all about strength. It's all about athleticism. And I think that mobility, the ability to have your hips move, to be able to drop your hips, change direction, stop on a dime, that is really important to have in conjunction with the strength. You could have the strongest guy in the world, but if he's tight and bound up, he's not going to be very successful as a D-line.
Jalen's only going to get stronger, we assume, which is wild to think about. Go ahead, AJ.
What do you think about some of these third down packages we're seeing? We've seen Myles Garrett, faking crossover dribbles in front of the center, putting double, he can go A-gap to A-gap. All these third down packages we see, like, how fun was that every week? I think you can get with your coach, and all of a sudden you get to see this is what we're going to do to attack these guys, and we get them in third and medium, third and long.
Yeah, I would say, first of all, when you're doing a crossover move like that before the play starts, that is the definition of in the zone. It is like, I know the feeling. I know that I've never done a crossover before a play in my life, but I know the feeling of thinking I can literally do anything I want on this field right now, and I'm going to dominate. And that's what he's feeling right there. He's like, screw it. I'm just going to do some crossovers. And the funniest part about it is he showed the offensive lineman the move he was going to do. He literally did a crossover on the center and then just blew right past him. Watch, he takes one step to the left, jabs, and then goes around. Like he practiced it for 3 seconds before the play started. But I think that's like take a hint here, bud. Probably going to get caught with a crossover.
Could you imagine next game he's
yeah, do it.
All right. That's right.
But I think it's great that they're moving him around. I mean, you got to, on defensive line, when you got a guy like Myles Garrett, you let him find the fish, whoever that is, and you let him go rush where he wants. And he got the move. He was on the left some, he was on the right some, he was on the center. So you let those guys move. Jim Schwartz knows what he's doing from an attack standpoint. And then you add Darius Smith into the mix. I mean, that's a very, very, very good defense right there.
I remember watching an NFL Films thing. You were mic'd up, and basically, I think you started on the right side, and then the next series you were like right middle, and I think you ended up on left side outside. And it was like everybody, the defensive line coach, defense coordinator, and the other people that are on D-line were like, okay, yep, that's where J.J. Watt's going. He's going to go on that side. Is that happening with every team, or only did you have that freedom because you were the elite guy, or how do you get to that point?
I think there's certain guys that you have to do that with for two different reasons. Number one, matchups. You want to try and get your best guy on the best opportunity to win. Number two, it eliminates the team's chance of double teaming you. If you're constantly moving the guy around, an offense can't, they can, but it's much more difficult to identify that and to double team it. If the guy's always on the right edge, you can put a running back there to chip. You can put a tight end there to chip. You can tell the guard to slide out and help. If you're moving the guy around every single play, it's much harder for that offensive coordinator to call the protection to get it to exactly where he wants it to be for that double team. So it does that, and then it also gives them a chance. If there's a guy that they like or a matchup that they like, go take it.
That'd be so much fun. This one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pretty good day. Hey, good way. All right. That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Give me this one over.
You do have to be at a certain status level to be able to do that, because some guys, I mean, everybody wants that guy. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody wants that guy. So you got to, I'm going to take that this time. Thank you.
How convenient. How convenient.
Of course.
Question here from Darius. JJ?
JJ, you already mentioned TJ, Miles, and some of the other guys, but who are some of the other guys, some of your favorite guys to watch right now to get after that passer?
I mean, I love watching Micah. I think Micah's great. What he does, I mean, what that whole Cowboys defense did was pretty incredible. And the fact that they were still out there just hunting in the fourth quarter, up 40-0, and Daniel Jones still in the game, just taking it, man. Just taking it. You have to respect it that he was still out there taking the hits, but you also have to wonder, like, was that the best move? Even Micah questioned it.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Why is that? Why obviously, why is Micah questioning it, though? Why do you look out? It sounds like something that, defensive pass rushers would never say, like, look out for a quarterback. But Micah is, like, genuinely concerned. You sound like you're genuinely concerned for it as well. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I think that Micah talking about that speaks volumes to how they were playing at that time. I think we saw Trent Williams say it with the Steelers. He said, I kind of wish they would have converted a third down so we got a little longer break. I think Micah's kind of saying that, like, man, I feel we're crushing this so bad. I feel bad for the guy. There's a point where you got to take the pride out of it. You got to, take that, we're going to leave our guy in and keep fighting until the end. There's a point where you have to say, okay, we're down 40-0. Let's be smart in the fourth quarter. Because pass rushers crave the fourth quarter when you're up. They literally beg to be left in the game. I don't want you to take me out of the game because that's my chance to hunt. Like, there's times where you want the game to be close enough where they're still going to throw the ball. They're still going to drop back because you can get it. If it's 40-0, generally you're just going to run the ball and drop the clock out. Instead, they were dropping back and letting Daniel Jones just get crushed back there.
Yeah, here's one of them.
You got to protect the guy.
We got one of these clips. They're down 30 plus at this point, maybe 40.
Yeah.
And He's standing back there. The whole D line is on top of the guy you just paid $40 million a year. You're down 40 zip at this point. It's like, I love whenever the opponents in the division come out and say, this is malpractice. This is malpractice going on the other side. You echoing that sentiment's beautiful, especially in the Home Alone jacket. Before we let you go, and we can't thank you enough for this Wednesday experience that we're going to have all season long. Turf grass, okay? There's a big thing. Lloyd Howe, who's the new NFLPA senior director. Executive senior President. Super director with the NFL. His first real public action here is calling for the fields to be flipped to grass. This is obviously a huge conversation around it all. There are stats on the NFL players side that say like, hey, grass is more healthy for lower extremities, ankles, knees, and also every player that's ever played has said, yes, give me grass for my joints as opposed to turf. We had Dr. Sills on, who is the chief medical officer for the NFL, and it's his job actually to go through these stats on the NFL side. And he said, we have a robot, he said, testing every field for every month, because these grass fields change from September to December. These turf fields change from September to December on the outside of the field versus the inside of the field. We're still trying to gather up all information, which, you know, in most places sounds like a delay tactic and something like that. Do you have a heavy opinion on this? And how do you feel about old Howe and the NFLPA seemingly going full court press on this for the first time?
I mean, first of all, I'd love to see this robot. I mean, what the hell does that look like? And what does it do? And also, what does that cost? Like, could we just change all the fields for the cost of the robot?
Solid question.
I mean, all things considered, when everything is equal, I absolutely love grass. Every single player does. It feels better on your joints. It reduces the injury risk. Absolutely. The only time I, as a player, ever preferred turf is inclement weather. If it was raining, if it was snowing, as a player and a pass rusher who needs his footing, I like the turf in that scenario because it doesn't get as sloppy. But overall, 100% I prefer grass over turf. The question that I have, and it's a very legitimate and honest logistics question, is how are you going to do it? Because I've seen when international football teams, soccer teams come and play in America, I've seen them lay down these grass fields for them. And some of those are really, really shoddy. You're putting down a little slices of grass on top of straight concrete. It slips and slides around. I've seen it. I watched a game almost get canceled because of it. Damn. So if you're going to do that, that's less safe. But if you have a way, and then you look at stadiums like the SoFi, it's literally dug under the ground. You can't do a tray system there. It's underground. And how are you going to do that every single week to have fresh grass in a dome stadium? Those are the logistics things I understand are gigantic and tough to figure out, and why it's tough to do right now. But do I think that grass is better? Absolutely.
Yeah, and they'll figure it out.
Always
figure it out. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it wasn't built to have a nice natural grass field. Figure it out. Figure it out.
Real Madrid did. I mean, Real Madrid Stadium is insane with what they did with their grass. Yeah.
How about
Talk about robots.
Arizona's awesome. They take that thing out for a walk, the field, and then bring it back inside.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a beautiful
Super Bowl wasn't the best.
That's because they wouldn't listen to the sod father. No, sod prince. Sod's son knew this is classic old school, new school.
Exactly.
Sod father, who's been doing every single Super Bowl since it started, 53 of them. Okay, 90 some years old. Still got his fastball though. He says.
Oh yeah.
What? He said this new son of a bitch wouldn't listen. They put too much water on it. They put the tarps on top of it, and that's what you got. And then they try to smear my name. Sodfather said, I didn't have any say in my last Super Bowl. So we don't know what's right and what isn't, but we do know that grass field was terrible. So bad that they actually thought that the NFL was doing it so that NFL players would feel stupid saying that they need grass. It's like, yeah, they're going to do that on Super Bowl. They're going to.
Of course.
But they are playing 4D chess at all times.
That's right.
They would.
Just like J.J. Watt, we appreciate you, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, rocking a Home Alone jacket. I can't read it.
Kenosha Kickers.
Of course.
Yeah.
Great polka band.
Great polka band. Took them forever to get to shows, though.
Yes, it did.
They are not flying.
A little much.
You guys created, the Wright brothers did what? Yeah, I'm not doing it. Give me the back of a box truck. Ladies and gentlemen, J.J. Watt.
Yay!
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun this year, I think. AJ, TJ. That was awesome.
Oh, what are you guys trying to make me look bad?
Oh, inside joke.
I don't
Okay,
know.
sweet.
I had no idea.
That was amazing. He, though, obviously going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, feels like a human, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a time there where he wasn't being presented as a human, though. You know, like whenever he was at the Houston Texans, he was on every single ad. He was also in every single thing on TV.
Yes.
And they were like, look at this superhero. Look at this superhero. Oh, this is the big football superhero. I think he actually did not like that and just kind of disappeared away from it all and got back to football. I appreciate the Watt family. Anytime you got three brothers in the NFL, that's good news, AJ. That's good news.
Yeah, I'd say that's good news. With all the odds of that happening are very, very slim.
How do you feel about him taking a shot at AQ? Oh, buddy.
That was wild.
Did he? What did he say?
He said
bogged
offensive lineman, a bunch of cheaters.
Yeah.
I mean,
Every
that's what
play.
every D line
Well, yeah,
centers
of course.
Of course.
they are.
No, I never heard
No,
that.
they are.
Well, you got real quiet out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of shrunk.
Darius asked question.
Mm-hmm.
You asked
I don't
question.
have a whiteboard. I need a whiteboard.
Nah, the whiteboard is just like an easy way to transition to whose question is next. You know what I mean? If something pops up in the conversation, but you don't need
Put my
that.
hand. Want me to put my hand?
No,
Yeah.
I actually. It's a very simple process. Hey, you.
And then just a
Head
nice
down. Yeah, just
little yes.
boom. That's all you need.
I'm ready for it.
That is not what you did last time.
No.
I said boom, and he
Shook it off.
looked up at the thing. I'm like, oh, this guy.
That's wild.
Call
Shook it
him
off.
for the curveball.
Yeah.
He shook it off. It's like you whenever Carly Lloyd was on.
Yeah.
Bingo. Same
remember
thing.
that?
That's not true. I did not shake it off. I didn't shake you
Yes.
off.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, no.
Her and the fantasy football
2
brothers.
times.
And the Wetzel guy.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
fell
Oh, he
asleep
fell
while
asleep
Wetzel
during
was
that.
talking. That was one of the greatest things of all time.
It was very hot out on that balcony.
The fantasy football one is the all-time one.
Because that was a hard shake, no.
I didn't have any fantasy football questions at the moment. I'm sorry. The guy, I know he had a hard out.
Sue
You had to let him go.
The fact that this show is now on ESPN is such a joke. If you guys go back and watch, we've had some real doozies out there.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking real doozies. AJ fell asleep while a guy was talking to us.
Crazy.
Live on air.
It's important
Really.
conversation.
No, I mean,
Sunglasses on. Act like these were sunglasses. Okay? Sitting right next to me. Sitting right next to me. Great throw. Great throw. Sweet gas station.
Here we
shades.
go. Yep.
Connor got all of them. Gave Connor like a $250,000 bonus. Bought every pair of shades in every gas station you've ever seen.
Bingo.
AJ's sitting next to me with these glasses on because we're out in the sun. This guy's giving an answer. I do the classic, hey, you next, and I get nothing. And I see his massive cranium just. And then he's up. And I'm like, hey, do you have a question? You go, yeah. Guy's still talking. Then right in this guy's face.
Yeah.
Right in this guy's
I felt like I was
face.
in school again. Honestly, I felt like I was in class. I really did.
Wetzel did
You
not
know when you
deserve
can't
that.
help it.
No.
Guy worked his ass off to get to that
It's
point.
not his fault. It's not his fault.
You were staring into the sun. We know that's bad for you.
Yeah, I mean, you shake off Carly Lloyd, you shake off the fantasy football, you fall asleep in Wetzel's face, and now we're on ESPN.
Boom.
What a show.
Call JJ TJ.
Called JJ TJ.
Son of a bitch.
Unbelievable out here. All right, that's our first Wednesday down on ESPN. We hope you'll join us tomorrow. We will continue live on YouTube. SportsCenter in 7 minutes. We appreciate the hell out of you. Say something nice to somebody, will you? Goodbye. Okay, so we had a clock thing happen.
Oh,
In
yeah.
the middle of that program. So first ESPN feed to ESPN goes Dahn. So they start second feed that doesn't have 5-second delay. Clock set for 5-second delay here. Had to make an audible. I think our internet went down too a little bit on YouTube.
really?
Is what I was told.
Yeah, it did.
How's that happen?
How?
How's that? We got 5 internet things coming into this building. How does it go down?
It looks like it timed out for like a millisecond, and then it happened 2 times.
2 times.
Twice?
A millisecond?
Yeah.
I'm paying five internet bills.
How's that happen?
This is what we've been talking about this whole time.
It is.
They're just throttling it down, ain't they?
These
AJ?
smart people.
You can get as many internet situations as you want. They can throttle all they want. You have no control.
Speaking of throttling, we would beat the hell out of aliens at football.
Yep.
Yes,
This
we
is
would.
something we need to remember, okay? When aliens inevitably become a part of our everyday life, which we all
It's a
assume.
Mexico thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you just shut
It
up?
is the Mexico thing, okay? I would have got there
Yeah.
in about maybe 45 seconds.
My God.
If you just let me set the table here.
What the?
Okay.
the hell
Let me
just
say-
I actually thought about it. I was like, nah, I'm not going to interrupt him. And that's not.
Gotta let it happen. Spoiler.
Jesus.
It is the Mexico thing. Okay.
going.
there is something happening in our world that hasn't happened before. It seems like governments now and other people are like, hey, we need to get ready for a potential piece of information that we thought was maybe too big for humans for a long time. There is life out there, okay? They have visited. We have no idea about them. Nope. Now, is that true? We don't know. In Mexico, though, a ufologist gave a official presentation to the government where he rolled out 2 bodies of these beings and presented them to, that's one of them.
Boom.
He rolled out these 2 beings and said that they were found buried in Mexico in 2017, and they've been mummified for about 1,000 years. Okay, who knows if any of that is real? What I do know is it was presented as if that is an actual thing. And my first look at it, this little bitch can't play football.
No.
We need to remember that, okay? That little head will get knocked off that tiny little frame so quickly. Unc, the unaffiliated neurologic consultant, would rule these aliens out of a football game after 1 hit. That is what we got to keep in mind if there's ever a time to fear these beings from somewhere else that we don't understand. They stink at football. We beat them at football. We win, AJ. Your first thoughts with the build of the dome on how this thing would play at football, and your thoughts on this happening in Mexico. Seemingly you're all over it.
Well, I assumed when I saw this, so you assumed this was a full-grown adult alien. I said this might be a 6-month-old. I was scared because this might be 3 to 6 months old, and they grow to become 18, 25 feet as they grow. So
but there was 2 of them. There was 2 of them. They're both
2 babies. 2 babies crashed over 5,000 years ago, and they're mummified. Yeah,
he's kind of
kind of a good
no. That is an interesting thought.
I don't like that we did that to their kids. They're going to be pissed.
No, it wasn't us. They crashed.
No, they're already dead.
It wasn't us. We were actually honoring it, right?
Has anyone checked these out? Has anyone tested them, like to see if this is even like what it's made of?
They actually 30% of the DNA they do not understand.
Bingo, yeah. There's like metals inside of the DNA. Yeah, there are like types of metals that, and they're still not sure if that is parts of the actual genetic makeup or if that was something they like implanted into the aliens post-birth.
And one of them had 3 eggs inside of them or something like that. So they don't know if it was pregnant. If it was pregnant, we assume it's not a baby.
We don't know.
Right?
Although still beat them in football.
But aliens could have, you don't know. Aliens could reproduce at any age.
Are they born with babies? Is the babies born with other babies inside of them?
What's the other 70%? Human?
Us, recognizable DNA. So it's animal, human, something that was known already.
H2O.
What are you saying?
I'm just interested. Did we procreate with these things?
Oh, you're saying back in the day, somebody pointed aliens.
We're slapping cheeks.
Smacking alien cheeks, you're saying.
Yeah, how did we get 70% in that?
That was my first.
Green dongs.
What was the movie?
That's the only way.
Chopping off heads.
Green dongs.
Rolling down.
Anyways, let's get to a break. Let's just know that there was an official presentation where 2 of these things got rolled out there.
Yeah.
What, Ty?
Listen, I don't want to be a skeptic. I want to believe we get a lot of this kind of stuff, okay? And it's very exciting because, hey, we might have aliens here. That fucking guy made those out of paper mache last week and put them in a box, okay?
I mean, there's a chance. And if that is the case, still beat him in football.
Yep.
Bingo. Absolutely.
There was another video released, however, from Russia of the same exact makeup from that alien.
Oh, how do you feel, Ty?
Well, we could do that tomorrow as well. I'll go to fucking Joann's Fabrics right after the show and grab some paper mache, and I'll make one of these. Hey, look what we found in the backyard of the Thunderdome. Same deal.
Be cool.
All right. Well,
you know what else we could do? We could hypothetically, theoretically create a simulated moon landing that looked very real.
Don't be a pig.
Whoa. Well, we could to pay homage to the actual moon landing, which is very real and did happen.
Yeah, thanks,
It's not a bad idea, actually.
Hope you're
What's
happy.
your problem?
I don't know. I didn't like the way Ty was talking about this alien evidence.
Well, when I found out this guy was a ufologist,
yeah, bingo.
I thought he was a councilman.
Someone said earlier he's been debunked a few times before.
Oh, no.
So
let's get to a break.
Not this time.
That's him?
Yeah.
He's a ufologist. It was him and other professionals, they said, which, you know.
Okay.
I don't trust his. He does not have a trustworthy chin.
Hey, what's his name? Jaime?
I believe it's Jaime Hassan.
Jaime Hassan.
I like
Which is
that
the
name.
Jamie of Mexico.
Jaime Hassan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Jocelyn.
And Jocelyn. Yes.
Jamie Jocelyn.
Yep.
Listen, you guys have been saying for weeks, months now even, Bring out an alien. Trot an alien out.
Exactly.
We finally get it to happen. You can't just shoot it down right away.
Thanks, well, that's what we did potentially 1,000 years ago.
Trot out an alive, real breathing alien.
All right.
Walking around.
Mexico did it. Don't we have a presidential election coming up?
Our turn.
You want to win? Trot one out.
Yeah.
On the clock.
And then we need an Oklahoma drill stat just to let them know
Bingo.
who's alpha here.
Right.
Watch this.
I'm in. I'm coming back.
Well, start eating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't Lopad win,
Trust
though?
me, they're all this big.
I was gonna say that Mexico guy who had a lot of old AQ in him.
No, a lot of new AQ in him.
No. Look at that chin. You kidding me? That's old
I love
AQ.
the beard.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the alien.
No,
You're talking about Jaime.
Jaime, yeah.
Jaime. Uses
Jaime
the
Shipley
beard.
will join us on the other side for In the Trenches. Obviously, that'll be mesmerizing. Breaking down a couple offensive linemen that did incredible things.
Yeah.
We'll take some phone calls on the other side as well. 1-833-432-3663. 1-833-4-DODO. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 5.
Tonight is a night where everything's going to be remembered. Every play, every sweat, every fight.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I will soon. Know as a child back in the womb.
Hey, let's have a national championship Monday, huh? My name's Pat McAfee. I've started this show 2 different occasions already. This will be the 3rd. Wow. It's 2023. We eat adversity for lunch. There's just so many different forms of gummies coming in my mouth.
Boss man, can you do a kickflip?
100 for it? 100 for it?
Oh!
Come on, bro. That was awesome. Hey, this little teddy bear is cool. This will round sweet. All right, I feel pretty good for this ESPN party. Let's go have a blast in there. Boom. Need you to do a red carpet. I've never done a red carpet before.
I got a poop, sorry.
I don't know if now's the time.
We're invited to the ESPN party, and now we are all sitting on a red carpet. We had no idea this was coming, obviously. We thought we were just getting some free drinks.
A lot of people on the internet say I look tired. What's that all about? I'm a massive fan of Posner. He was getting motivational speeches in between songs. He was playing other people's songs. He was telling people to stay down. We're going to make a moment. Only on the count of 3, we're going to go crazy.
Oh, I know. Sad song. Sad song. Oh, yeah.
A couple of these. Bring it up. Bring it up.
Who's up? What do you want?
What'd you do?
Gotta make this practice game, baby. It's gonna last until 9 o'clock.
Happy birthday, sack of shit.
So fired up to be here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I got a necktie and everything.
Holy shit. Tim Tebow's here. Oh my God.
Look at that cut.
The most handsome shot in our show's history. Nick Saban has been spotted at SoFi. Great work in the back, Fox team. Boys crushed it. Now we got game day, then the mega cast. Let's go. Hey, let's have a night. Obviously, the enemy of great is good. The enemy of a dynasty is winning one championship and letting it go. Fran, you're obviously going to Colorado, a place that's been looking for some sort of championship for 20 years. You're also one of the greatest speakers I've ever heard. What are you saying to your team?
You can't get here and all of a sudden change.
Yeah.
You don't want to see a different mannerism of somebody, and especially the coaches. See, everybody's talking about the players, but you got to coach the coaches too.
Did you smile there too? Are you smiling? I saw a smile. I do that every now and then. The rat poison, smiling. That's embedded fourth quarter perfection. Matthew Stafford, fourth quarter perfection. Big moments, Tebow perfection. We got some real magic here tonight, don't we? I love that toad that takes those mushrooms. And With that being said, Stetson Bennett's 25 years old. He's so damn comfortable. Darnell Washington's the backup tight end. He's 6'7", 270. Brock Bowers, best player on the field. The defense full of dogs. Give me the Georgia Bulldogs go back-to-back. First time since this man and his Alabama squad. I love the Bulldogs tonight, barking all over the place, Coach. All right, here we go, huh? A little bit of rush from old game day down to the field. We went all the way to the roof to come back. We are so sorry. All right, let's roll. I gotta get to the sleep, then I'm gonna hop over the sleep thing. Good, Brad. looking at SoFi Stadium, where we'll be crowning a national champion for our college football season tonight. And the Dogs are on the board early. Wide open.
That's the shot that they wanted, baby.
Oh, that's embedded with his second touchdown in the first half. Pick.
Oh, no.
Georgia's first down. One-handed. Touchdown. Brock Bowers. Touchdown. It is currently 45-7. It is 52-7. Touchdown.
Jeez. This is just a good old back home ass whooping.
It's a blowout, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey-o. That son of a bitch, Uga, is having the night of his life.
Wow.
It's raining indoors in Los Angeles. This is God taking a tinkle on something magical, isn't it? Let's get mustache.
Get him on camera.
That mustache.
Holy smoke.
Holy smokes.
Are you a firefighter?
Good for you, bro. Thanks for your service. First down, Horned Frogs on a 2nd and 3. Why don't we call a game? Holy hell, Tim Tebow is coming. Tebow, we're live.
We're on.
We're live right now. Welcome back to SoFi Stadium. Right before the break, an extra point almost killed Tim Tebow. Natural instincts had to take in place. I could not lose the greatest human on earth, and I'm happy they gave you that ball, Tim. Tone, act like you're Sonny Dykes, please.
All right, boss. First half didn't go our way. We're doing this for the great state of Texas. You know who else was down 31 points?
Who's that?
The Italians.
All right, let's take the tractor another round. What are you watching out there, Coach?
Honestly, they're better off grabbing Luka Doncic out of the crowd and maybe lining him up next to Quentin guys in that receiver. Because they can't do a damn thing.
We decided Tebow here, formerly known as praying for this TCU team to do something. So you put your hands up, play that song, butterflies fly away. Thank you for your service, sir. You're a badass, man.
Those other Americans, I wouldn't be here.
What a run. The boys crushed it. Officiating.
TCU sucks.
What? That's all she wrote for college football season. What a year. Let's fucking get home.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Trenches Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. Hour 3 of this program starts right now. Football is what we've been talking about all day today. AJ Hawk is right there. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and Ty Schmidt. Connor, sweet shirt.
Yeah, it's a bear screaming on. I figure for the trenches, you could probably need a couple bears down low.
Oh, a couple dancing bears.
Dancing bears, good bears who put it all on the line, dongs out.
Well,
if need be.
Come on.
What's
If
that
need
have to
be.
do?
I don't know what
When would
that's
that need be on the football?
When it's 4th and goal from the 1 yard line, you got to put your dong on the line, knock somebody else's dick in the dirt.
Exactly.
I get it.
They do say
Okay,
that.
I
Come
get it.
on.
Okay.
I get it, Con.
Hey, now, there was a 40 that was run by somebody.
Oh, there was.
Who's that?
Classic. That's a classic combine clip. We all know that.
Who's?
I see.
Check it out.
My memory is a little clouded. I remember it potentially happening.
Mm-hmm. He's a very good player.
Oh, so it sounds like you know the situation a lot better than
How
I
would you not know? How does anyone not know?
Actually, genuinely don't know.
Yeah, I'm lost.
I didn't know until you, AJ.
That's the immediate.
Check it out.
I didn't remember. One half of the hammer. Dahn, Cowboys. Tone Diggs was not the guy.
Okay.
12-year NFL vet and Super Bowl champion AQ Shipley was not the guy. 9-year NFL vet and host of Everything DB and NFL Matchup.
That's right.
And a man-to-man podcast. It was not Darius Butler. Okay, so what? AJ, seems like this
It's not my place to publicize it anymore. But yes, it's a compliment if you're running and your meat just falls out of your skivvies because it's too big.
Oh, is this Frank Gore? I have seen that.
I mean, that's incredible. Incredible.
This
I'm not
show is
going.
no
I don't.
worse.
I'm not speaking on it. I am not speaking on it anymore. It's the ultimate compliment for this person, but I am not.
Congratulations to this person. I'm happy we're not doing it.
San Antonio home?
But I guess it is on the internet.
AB? Oh, it's AB, isn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, we will move past that conversation. I do not think it was AB. And before we get the Generals, top 5 college football teams, we're having connection situations, which never happened.
No, it never did.
Ever.
We're blank on ESPN, I guess, because things went down.
Really? That happened Friday, too.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
What the hell?
Getting throttled.
There's a chance. Honestly, there's a chance.
Someone's throttled.
What if somebody
real term.
got so mad that our show got signed to ESPN? They're like, oh, they think they're so smart. Oh, your show's so good. Going to go off without a hitch, huh? Is that right?
Throttle it.
Just right down. Honestly, we have never had these types of issues that have been happening. We have had them like a year ago.
Yeah, not for a long time.
And like you go through the studio and like connect it and get, like redundancy answers for things. Now we have new redundancy on redundancy that's already been created because this redundancy obviously is the right redundancy. And now it seems like none of them know the right answer. This is like that sign I used to have in the old office, the story of somebody, where it's like everybody thought this guy named somebody was going to take care of something. And in the end, nobody took care of anything because everybody thought that somebody would do it for them. This is seemingly the issue that we're running into a couple of times. We would like to let people know that watch. We don't like it either. It's disrespectful to you. It's disrespectful to the people that are home, and we need to get it figured out.
Yes, we do.
With that being said, joining us now is a guy who has it figured out.
Okay.
That's right.
Always.
Always.
Since day one.
Always, all the ways. This guy has a heating and air conditioning company in Columbus, Ohio right now.
That's right.
You call it, there's a chance he shows up and actually just lifts a new furnace right into your house.
That's right.
Properly jocked, still works out with the Ohio State football team, has a morning show in Columbus for 4 hours still every single morning, talking Ohio State and college football. An absolute stallion, former NFLer, college football legend. Ladies and gentlemen, the General, Bob Carpenter.
Hey, Pat, now let me tell you this. I know there's been some issues, and I think your conspiracy stuff might be right on point. I mean, you watched Hard Knocks. You saw Aaron start to expose all the aliens, and all of a sudden, dude, poof, and gone.
Whoa.
Think about it.
Bubby.
Put it right there.
Shit.
Why'd you do that to me?
Bubby's onto something.
Bob, why'd you do that to me? Why'd you put it in here? You just put it in here. Now I got to think about it.
Aliens right
I don't
now.
need that, Bobby.
They're just trying to put a ceiling on you, man. Don't let them put the ceiling on. You got to burst through that thing.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's right.
Bursting through these ceilings. Speaking of doing that, I've had the incredible opportunity to having a front row seat to the biggest college football games every single weekend in the last couple of years. And re-diving into college football has been awesome. It has been so much fun getting a chance to experience the celebration and shenanigans of college football as a fan, as opposed to a player that was going into these places, and actually getting a chance to go learn has been awesome. But we know that no matter what we say about college football, will not be judged as harshly as your top 5. Yep. Welcome back. We can't wait to hear the changes that you've made and who you have at your top 5 this week. And if you sit too close to the camera, there's a sun coming through somewhere. It looks like you got a bunch of white stuff on the tip of your nose.
Yes.
I'm not going to point things together, but there's going to be people that are saying Colombian Bam Bam is something that you tried. You need to stay back and get that thing off there. The General's top 5 for this beautiful week looks like what, General Bob?
Well, here we go. You guys want to start at 1? You want to start at 5? Where do you want to go with
5?
We'll start at 5. We'll work our way up. We're going to start with number 5, the Florida State Seminoles. Making their way in. We talked about their big game that they were going to have against the LSU Tigers. They came out and they absolutely dominated. Jordan Travis has been electric. Last week they smoked Southern Miss, and it looks like they got it done in the trenches. I knew Florida State had the skill position players. You thought they had the QB. But what they did in the second half against LSU was very impressive.
Okay, so obviously Florida State seems to have the dudes, too, to go on a run, just like we've seen with another school this past weekend that battled in Tuscaloosa. Yep. I assume they're going to make an appearance. Who's at number 4?
Number 4, I got Michigan. They're sitting in there. They've done a good job. They've played well thus far. J.J. McCarthy's thrown the ball well. Donovan Edwards, Blake Corum, they've looked good. They haven't really played anybody yet. And that's what's tough early in the season, is trying to figure this thing out. And so you don't want to penalize teams for looking as they should, or maybe playing average against some below average competition. But Michigan is taking care of business. They're where they need to be. They're going to get Jim Harbaugh back here soon. And I think that should help them get on a run as they get into this Big Ten schedule.
AJ, how do you feel about that from a school up north? Oh.
I think that's Bob just showing that he's not, he's not a complete homer towards Ohio State. Now we'll see what number 1 is. But, yeah, I think it's good to put Michigan in there.
Who's number 3, General?
All right, it's the game that you guys were at. And people have been saying this, folks, for the last 15 years. Texas is back. It has been the big mantra. So we're going to go with the University of Texas Longhorns.
Congratulations, Texas.
You fellas were at the game. I'm going to tell you, everyone wants to talk about Quinn Ewers and how great it was. Man, he can throw a phenomenal deep ball. But what it is, Pat, is you saw it up front. AJ, you saw those guys. Their front four, their defensive line, it looked like someone taped a T-bone to the side of Jalen Milroe's head. And those were just a bunch of hungry dogs out there trying to get after it, doing everything they could, man. It was unreal in the second half what they were able to get done.
Matthew McConaughey was on the sideline sending the vibes from the moon through his horn,
So good.
through his body, through his tricep that he was throwing out right there. Whenever he joined us, that Xavier Worthy touchdown from Quinn Ewers right in front of us, that was an awesome moment.
Yeah.
Like, that was an incredible moment.
Right there.
I assume it's going to show up in something whenever he writes about, because he's a big firm believer in, like, the universe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Putting things together.
Manifesting things, yeah.
What an honor to be there. And shout out to Matthew McConaughey's Texas Longhorn team. Number 3 in the country, says the General Bob Carpenter.
Damn.
I think they can go on a run, too, Bob. They got the pieces to go, I think. They're big enough.
Coach, they got everything that they need. They got the D-line. They've got the O-line. They've got a quarterback. You've seen the skill position players. This Texas team, I think they're going to win the Big 12. And if they don't make it to the CFP, they're going to have only themselves to blame, because this is a team that is gassed up, Coach, and ready to go. All right.
Yeah, hell
Number 2.
Let's go.
We're going to go with the Georgia Bulldogs, Carson Beck-led team. They smoked Ball State last week. They're the defending national champs, 2-time defending national champs. They've got everything they need. Their schedule is going to be tough because we're not going to really get a chance to see anything from them for quite some time. So we're just going to have to continue to believe, because you know what? Man, they've been rolling for the last 2 years, and I'm not going to put them in the grave until they prove me wrong.
Okay, so obviously they've won back-to-back national championships.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Still undefeated.
Yes. Yeah.
Still have new quarterback. Same coach, though, same system. Number 2 in the country. Obviously, to get to number 1 on the General's top 5, it ain't no easy task.
No.
Because at number 1 it is?
It is your one and only Ohio State Buckeyes. And until they do something to prove otherwise, they finally picked their starting quarterback. They've got Kyle McCord in there now. They got Marvin Harrison Jr. going. And listen, I know that we're talking about NFL first-round draft picks, top 3 guys. I saw Pat Shedeur Sanders' NFL legacy. Coach, one of the best receivers of all time. His son is here, and he might be better than him. So they've got everything they need. His high school quarterback, Kyle McCord, now officially the starter. I anticipate they're going to be ready to go. And we're going to start to see this trajectory, Coach. It's going to be like a ski slope.
Well, ski
right to the top.
With that light.
Who was
the way this whole thing started with that light.
Yeah.
Now we're talking ski slope.
Downhill skier.
Okay. I like that.
What are you laughing at, Bob?
Congrats to the Ohio State Buckeyes being number 1 in the General's poll. Now, he lives in Columbus, hosts a show in Columbus.
Right.
And honestly, hey, Ohio State against the same Georgia team that won by 55 in the national championship, right? A lot of returning pieces or a lot of new parts? Because I heard that Ohio State fans aren't believers this year in this Ohio State team.
Pat, it's the greatest tragedy of all. When you play high-level college football, everybody expects you to be great every single week. Ryan Day has done something, and every year they get better and better as the season goes on. So I'm going to trust the fact that he knows what he's doing. He's had 3 first-round quarterbacks in a row. Kyle McCord will get there. It's going to take some time. They got to get the D-line going a little bit this week. But next weekend, man, they're going to be up in South Bend, Indiana, taking on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, which will be the premier game in all of college football in about 10 days. So I am super juiced for that one.
Yeah, your top 5 is going to get tested by Marcus Freeman, Sam Hartman.
Wow.
I mean, they got a team up there, pal. All right, we appreciate the hell out of you, General. Great to see you. We missed you last week.
You got time for my double shot?
Oh, what?
All right, listen, I got my double shot favorite, my double shot special this week, because everybody's been in a situation where...
Oh, the Vince Carter riser.
Where's the riser, Bob?
We got the riser with Vince Carter. This week it's going to be the double shot because, Pat, you go to get your buddy a drink and you come back, you're like, man, he needs to have a good time. You tell the bartender, make it a double. And they get something a little unexpected when they put that thing to their lips and all of a sudden, bam, hey, who ordered me this? And that right there, it's the Colorado Buffaloes with everything they've done. They came out of nowhere this week, Coach. 2 weeks in a row. TCU, then Nebraska. You thought that the first sip was, oh, okay, it's a little strong. Let me dive back in a little more. And that thing knocks you down. Shedeur Sanders has thrown for 900 yards, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, and it's been basically flawless. Dude has been remarkable. I didn't think that they'd be cracking the top 25 this year, but, man, they got a tough schedule. And they might be in the top 10, and you might be walking with one leg shorter than the other after you get done drinking with them.
Okay. Hey, I love everything about it. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the General Bobby Carpenter.
Unreal.
I did not know that was coming.
No.
I obviously
Great. So it's going to be
Time for my double shot?
Yeah. Yeah, because like I heard about it earlier. Like, hey, there's a double shot. And I was like, no, I like the Vince Carter riser.
Perfect.
And then, they're like, no, it's a double shot. I'm like, no, I like the Vince Carter riser. Like, I respect Vince Carter. And then now his explanation, is that going to be every week? Hey, this week, this is the tight pants team.
Yeah, time for tight pants.
Yeah, you think you're comfortable, but then all of a sudden it gets up to your waist and it's a little bit tighter than you thought. This team will take you into the fourth quarter and go, is that what he's going to do? I like that he's exploring the space.
Yeah, he better do that. Yeah, Bob's a very creative person, so I would assume he's going to try to come up with a new one every single week. And the best thing is, the more we gas him up and let him know it's a good idea, I think the more he puts into it.
I think the General's still on. Hey, General.
And baby, General.
Way to go.
Keep it going.
Yes.
Keep it going.
Way to go.
I'm going to try to explore the bounds of creativity. If you're going to give me a little poetic liberty with this, Pat, I'll get some good ones here for you.
Okay. You're a warrior poet, too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
This poetic liberty.
Yeah,
that's the beautiful thing about your poetry.
Well, the best part is, you see your guy AJ over there, Chief Crazy Horse. He was kind of a stiff in college. So when I had to order him drinks, I'd have to go tell the bartender, pour it like it ain't yours, fill that bad boy up. And then he'd be like, you good? I'm like, yeah, I got the same thing. And I'd have to shovel him the heavy pour, knowing that he didn't want to have a good time.
Well, maybe the reason he didn't enjoy drinking, I don't want to say this.
Maybe.
Could be that it just tasted so terrible every single time he went out. That might have been a part of it. Yeah. I don't know. But I do appreciate your friendship. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, the General Bob Carpenter.
Yeah.
This guy never wants to drink with me.
Yeah. What the hell?
Oh, shit. There's one of that guy.
Yeah.
The best.
Coach.
Yeah.
Coach.
Trying to tell you, Coach.
Dude, so what happened? He wasn't able to connect his computer. Obviously, he went with his phone right there on his desk.
No, he had a voice changer on, and it sounded like, hey, my name is Bob. And he couldn't
He was
hear
doing weird stuff before this.
Okay, so he's really taking some creative liberties. This guy has an auto-tune like he's T-Pain.
Yeah.
But
what do you... He tried to did he get an app or something to change his voice?
Sounds like it, dude. What is this guy? What is he?
He couldn't hear the show, though.
Exactly.
He looked good, though.
Yeah. Always.
Oh, no,
have you seen him? He's doing like 50 pull-ups.
Mm-hmm. Hey, he did 40 at 40.
Yeah.
He ran 20 half gassers like a month ago.
Yeah. To celebrate his birthday.
His 40th.
That dude's a psycho. Yeah. All right. What have we not covered today before we dive into the trenches to wrap this thing up? I think there's... oh, yeah, here we go. This is a good story, I think, especially with the talk of the Pittsburgh Steelers today. Big Ben Roethlisberger, who is the host of an incredible podcast called Footballin'. Obviously, number 7 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hero over there won a Super Bowl, and in his last game at home, literally got like a victory lap where the whole place cheered him out of the city of Pittsburgh. Now, there's people that aren't in Pittsburgh that view Ben Roethlisberger in a certain way, and that's always going to happen. But in Pittsburgh, let's go ahead and check. How do you feel about Ben Roethlisberger, Tone Diggs, Pittsburgh Steelers diehard Yinzer?
I love him. I'd take a bullet for him.
Okay, that's how they feel in Pittsburgh. And I will say, after listening to Footballin' and learn a little bit more about him, it has been intriguing to kind of get to know this guy who's beloved by every one of my family members and friends. Me not being around as much during his era, didn't fully get to see it. He chatted about Matt Canada and his inconsistencies. He said, listen, Matt Canada needs to just let the playmakers make plays. He said, let's get a play that Kenny Pickett can at least get back on track with. If Big Ben's talking to Matt Canada and Matt Canada's not changing, are you a little bit worried about what this future looks like?
Yes.
And Mike Tomlin is like one of the most loyal dudes of all time. It's not like he's going to make a change in the middle of the season at all. If Ben can't crack through, who can, Tone?
Yes, been worried for a few seasons now about Matt Canada. I mean, I love Tomlin, but at some point, Matt Canada's terribleness is going to fall on Mike, and for him not pulling the trigger on getting rid of the guy. And there is one guy who could come in and save the team. He's done it before. He can do it again. He can save the city. And that's Seven. Seven comes in and
Be the offense coordinator?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That would be awesome.
Just talked about quarterbacks calling plays yesterday.
Literally yesterday, we said players that are great. Now, whenever they're able to see the Jumbotron and they're able to focus on what the defense is doing as opposed to having the ball in their hand. I mean, you saw Baker Mayfield was not considered, no offense, Baker, might come someday, but not considered as one of the great quarterbacks in the NFL. He was able to look at the defensive coordinators and the defensive coaches and get their signals, and then at halftime, everyone was saying, imagine what Ben Roethlisberger could do if he could watch the defense, watch the Jumbotron, call a play for somebody else. Is that where we're at right now? Are we at the point of pushing for Ben Roethlisberger?
Oh,
the
yeah.
offense
We were 100% at that point. And when Ben was best under Canada, when he was not paying attention to him, or in the 2-minute drill when he was calling his own plays, even if the other team could hear him call his own plays, he was drawing them up in the dirt. He was yelling out, hey, wide receiver, you're doing this, you're running this. It was still 10,000 times better than what was going on when the Canada's plays were coming in the earpiece.
What were you going to say, D-Bud, about it?
When I was reading that quote by him and put it back up, it was a lot of kind of what Eli was saying about the young quarterbacks, about getting them some go-to plays, get back on track, some staples, like, hey, things aren't really going well. Let's go to some of my favorite plays and get some, like you said, get the ball in the hands of some of these playmakers. They got them out there. Pickens, there's a lot of hype about that connection. Going into this season, we saw some shots of him on the sideline looking dejected. I'm sure he would like some more touches. You would like to see some more explosiveness out of that backfield now down Deontay Johnson. That only gets tougher for a play caller.
Yep.
So,
yeah, and preseason, they look good, AJ.
Yeah.
The team looked good.
Very good.
They were throwing the ball. Pickens had all these highlights. Freiermuth was doing his thing. Warren was moving. Everybody. It was like really. And then just the lights come on.
Maybe they just ran to a juggernaut.
Niners.
Maybe that's just all that happened.
Yeah, played the Niners, right? We got to remember that.
Yeah, brutal start, but we talked about this too. I mean, you have a lot of time to prepare for it. Like, obviously, the Niners are going to be there in the end. They're one of
You can mess yourself up with that too, though, Con. You know that probably. Like, when you have too much time, paralysis by analysis, where you just think you have so much time, you keep going into it, and you're like, all right, we just thought ourselves out of this game because we thought we were too smart.
Orlovsky put out a tweet that he thinks the Steelers are just running the same pass play just over and over and over and over.
Well, I know Orlovsky. I know Orlovsky knows. That's right behind. It's coming up out of AQ's head.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like an AI.
Was that a tweet?
Why'd you make that face, AQ, whenever I said Orlovsky knows? Why was that?
Well, just like that first the first time In the Trenches came about was because Orlovsky knew that pass protection.
That is how In the Trenches was founded.
Created In the Trenches?
Yeah, he doesn't even know it, I don't think. Well, maybe he does at this point.
He should.
He does. We've talked about it, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've chatted about it. He's chatted about it. But Orlovsky, friend of the program, friend of ours.
Thank you, Dan.
We love Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah,
that needs to be said. So when we talk shit on Dan Orlovsky, it's like we're just talking shit on a friend or whatever. But yeah, he got a platform, and instead of doing some quarterback stuff, he actually just started burying an offensive line for how they weren't protecting the quarterback, who was clearly hanging on the ball wrong and misdiagnosing some pressures. And AQ was still playing at the time. And he sent the tweet video, and he said, I forget what the exact wordage was, but
pretty aggressive.
Fuck Dan Orlovsky.
Essentially.
And I'm like, what do you mean? Because everything he was saying makes sense. And then AQ was like, yeah, but the center's on this, the ball's on this hash mark, and the linebacker's lined up on this particular shade in this way. So the actual call is this. Dan Orlovsky has no idea about that. That is not something that Dan Orlovsky would ever do. Like screaming at me on the phone.
Jeez.
And I'm like, all right, dude, well, when you retire, we'll just figure out a way to let people know that. And then boom, In the Trenches comes about. So shout out to Dan Orlovsky.
Shout out to Dan Orlovsky.
And you and him have become friends since then.
For sure. Yeah, we talk.
You think he's wrong there, though?
No, I think he's probably right because I think
Yes.
we know about
What's the concept? Is it
Canada's
the same
play
past
calling.
concept?
How was the Jets sweeps this week? Was there a lot?
There was actually the second play of the game, my friend.
Who would have thought?
What was that? You don't like?
Second and 4. I think I was watching it. I think Nick, we were at the Colts game, we were watching. Like 2nd and 4, you get a good first down play. You go and jet sweep, you lose, 3-4 yards on the first drive of the game. Like, why?
And it's not his first time doing that.
No.
It's not like, hey, I have never made this mistake before.
You should see the concepts, man. They're crazy. He runs a slant, and then there's a back out in the flat, and then he runs like a flood where there's like a 15-yard out with the tight end about 5 yards.
That's genius.
Basically a lot of
That sounds like a great.
I drew up that play on the virtual reality football thing.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Which has a new era, right? Aren't you?
Status Pro, too. I am the voice of the offensive coordinator.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
You play defense, though.
This guy's AI.
Yeah.
It's a human taking an AI job in the Oculus arena.
Love that.
Gotcha.
Love everything you're doing there.
Human.
Good job, D-Butt.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
suck it, AI.
What's the game called? What's it called?
Status Pro.
Status Pro,
Yep.
and it's one with Lamar and the NFL affiliated. I've played it a few times. You draw up plays, you throw footballs in there, you're in the Oculus.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. But I had no idea your voice was going to be on it when we got in there. That's an incredible thing. It's version 3 now.
2. Version 2 coming out, I think the 28th, he said. And then we're actually having some conversation about how I can get more involved. So stay tuned.
You're going into
That's
meta.
breaking.
You're going to be in Oculus there?
Want to be an Oculus?
What if you pop out there in the Oculus? Hi, I'm Garrett.
Yeah, I'm your offensive coordinator.
And then go to dap people up too with the
Good play.
Got the hand thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You still playing it, Nick?
Hell yeah, dude. You call 10 times better plays than Matt Canada could ever dream of. Thank you, D-Butts.
Nice. Go.
Good
Boy, D-Butt.
Matt will figure it out. He'll figure it out.
I don't think so. Honestly, and while you were talking there and breaking down the concepts, and then AQ is a Yinzer at heart, so he's obviously heard all of his family and friends bitch and complain about Matt Canada, so I assume he's looked into it. He seems to be co-signing with what everybody else is saying, so that makes me believe, now just as a human that I am, like, okay, a couple people that I trust have said, yeah, this is trash, and this is no offense to Matt Canada, who's probably a good guy, but like in the NFL right now, you got some super gurus with the offense and things that have changed and evolved and just little tricks and leverage concepts that you can use to help everybody in everything. If you're not taking advantage of that, and I know Dan Orlovsky has said this before, but it's real, like there's enough out there that if you're not taking advantage of it and your offense is completely inept, like it's malpractice.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. And Mike Tomlin is going to be the one that's going to get judged by this. And Mike Tomlin's resume is good enough. Mike Tomlin's going to be a Hall of Famer. But it is like one of Mike Tomlin's thing, which is a good thing, is how loyal he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and how he takes care of his guys. Sure. And it's like, hey, it's like a college atmosphere and a family atmosphere here. It's like, I'll be interested to see how he handles this. Whenever it's continued to not go well, it's gotten loud. He knows they have a team, right? It didn't look like it against the Niners, but if you look on the roster, defense, good. You got the best defensive player in the world, is what J.J. Watt's saying about his brother. On the offensive side, seemingly, Kenny Pickett can do it. We've seen it happen. George Pickens, one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Yep.
You got good backs. You got a good offensive line. It's like, how long does Mike Tomlin sit there and say, my loyalty matters more than not getting the most out of this team that I am in charge of? That is something we'll all kind of sit and watch, I guess.
I gave you that stat yesterday about 400-yard games and how they haven't had one since 2020.
And they're the only team.
Only team.
Every other team has had at least 3 400-yard total yard games. Pittsburgh Steelers have 0.
What's the most success the Steelers offense has had under Matt Canada? What year was that?
It was 399 yards.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
But I'm saying, was there ever any good times in Pittsburgh for Matt Canada where you guys felt good about it?
Ben's last year they went to the playoffs, right?
Yeah, but it still wasn't.
It was bad. Remember, he was just throwing the ball every 2 seconds.
Snuck in.
He had to get the ball out.
Yeah.
I mean, in seven could make shit look like flowers. So.
Amen.
That's how they view him in Pittsburgh.
Can't put it all on the coaches, though.
And he was
I
doing
heard Belichick say, hey, good players make good coaches, because you can call a lot of guys. Brady had a very simple system for a long time. We knew some of the shit he was calling, but
did that work?
He execute. Yeah.
And Kenny did miss some throws that he wouldn't normally miss, which is a problem. But Peyton has the most interceptions in the history of rookie quarterbacks. He coached at Indiana here the first 4 years of his career. Shout out. Then he went to Northern Illinois with the running backs and quarterbacks.
Nice.
Then he goes back to Indiana. Okay, he's quarterbacks and passing game. And can we scroll?
Scroll down.
And then he's still at Indiana, still at Northern Illinois, Wisconsin, NC State, Pittsburgh, LSU, Maryland, and then Pittsburgh Steelers.
Boom.
I mean, that is a wild leap for old Matt
I didn't know this was his first NFL gig.
Yeah, and then
Couldn't tell.
yeah, certainly something though. Good luck out there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's right.
We get it done.
Could be just the Niners. You got to remember. Let's take a couple phone calls, then we'll do In the Trenches, then we'll get the hell out of here on this glorious Wednesday. Oh, pretty big announcement. On Friday, we'll be live in Boulder.
Boom!
Okay.
Come on.
Yet another place where I don't believe we have that large of a following if you read the stats on the internet. But First Take is going to be live out there in Boulder. We will be live out there in Boulder. I think some of the guests we are going to have on, pretty large.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be on the business field to all the people in Colorado that know that. And obviously, we'll do the whole thing. We'll have some giveaways probably. We'll have some good chatter. And we'll have a blast as we kick off a massive weekend for the Colorado State game where game day will be there. And I assume every human in the sports world is going to embark to beautiful Boulder, Colorado. So we'll start there Friday, AJ. Can't wait for it, pal.
That place is on fire, man. It'll be cool to see that whole campus. I'm sure it's a big difference last year to this year of what it feels like there, especially on a football weekend.
Yeah, I bet there's a little bit of buzz over there, as there should be. They are remarkable. A lot of fun to watch. Can't wait to get out there. Cannot wait.
Pumped.
I've been watching everybody that's gone out there over the past couple of weeks, standing on the sideline. It looks like a great time.
Yeah.
The scene.
And then they can't handle it and they stink. If these dudes weren't phenomenal right now, none of this shit would be happening.
Right.
So we got to remember that as we talk about everything that's coming around the team. We're honored to take our show and be a part of everything that's surrounding the situation. But what's happening on the field,
Crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
This is a turnaround that is quicker than anybody else. And they believe, which is Deion's big thing, like, do you believe? Yeah. If you don't believe, hey, we're going to get you the hell out of
See
here.
ya.
Every coach says that, but he's been able to actually do that. They believe they need to dominate everybody.
Yeah.
And that's not like, yeah, the Pac-12 is the best it's been in a long time. You're going to have a lot of tough games coming up. Think about that Utah team playing against this team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's old school football. Oregon State playing against that team. DJ Uiagalelei. USC playing against that football team. I mean, there's a lot of great – Oregon. I mean, there's a lot of teams over there in the Pac-12 that they're going to have to get through if they want to get to the spot in which they could potentially get to, which is college football playoff. But they believe they can. And after watching them, why not?
Yeah. How can you
Why not? Like, they have the mindset for it, the mentality for it, and I think we haven't even been introduced to some of the star players that they have on their roster at key positions. And we'll probably meet week 7, week 8. This Weaver guy, he's the guy with the dreads, wide receiver.
10.
He's a beast, absolute beast out there. Didn't know he existed before this season. I assume there's numerous guys that transferred into Colorado that haven't had their shot yet, but when they do, going to explode with the mentality that they have.
They're big running back from Houston, McCaskill, had 16 touchdowns last year as a freshman. He hasn't played yet because of injury, but they have 6 ranked teams left on their schedule.
Pac-12 is a real deal this year.
Yes,
Going to be a lot of primetime games.
Get a chance to go experience it. Yeah, I think so. This weekend's 10 p.m.
Yeah, which is
late kickoff.
interesting.
That is a late kick.
And I don't know anything about them, but boy, I feel like they're going to beat the hell out of Colorado State. And granted, they could have a bunch of great players. I'm sure they do.
We're looking at the slate for game day, and I have nothing to do with any of that. We have nothing to do with any of that. I think the backyard brawl was very close.
Yeah. Considered.
It was very, very close. But it's like neither team, no offense, Colorado has a chance to make the college football playoff.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what – if West Virginia had, let's just say covered against Penn State, I think.
Sure.
Just kept it – competable.
Yeah.
I think it were competitive.
For sure.
I think it would have been much more considered.
Pitt didn't hold up their end of the bargain either.
Bingo. Yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't want to bury Pitt. I just want to talk for it. I will on Saturday, of course. We're doing the whole thing. But, there's a lot of West Virginia people that were, disappointed. Like, why aren't you coming to the backyard brawl? It's like, I tried. I pushed. I pushed like hell. And I think Game Day was very interested in me going back to West Virginia. And I was excited to go back to West Virginia. But now it's like, since they had to go because this is the biggest story in college football.
Got to do what you got to do.
Exactly.
But you look around the slate, it is.
Tough week.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? The games, I don't want to say there won't be any upsets or magic because there always is in college football every single weekend. But as you try to project ahead, this particular lineup, not nearly as packed as other weekends in college football. And I would like to say, hey, college football, come on.
Yeah.
Let's go. We're signing massive network deals. I understand their strategy and who your non-conference games are, because if you suffer a loss, you're screwed pretty much for the future. But as this thing gets to 12 teams in the playoffs, and it'll be a little bit more forgiving, I think, to teams that maybe lose a game or two, let's make sure we stack these.
Exactly.
Hey, Ohio State, sign Colorado to a game.
Good news, though. They're talking about with the expansion, now that there's not just 12 and 14 teams, there's 16 and 18 teams in your conference. They're probably going to be playing like 2 more conference games.
I think it's 9 conference games is probably going to be happening, or 10 conference games going to be happening. So we're going to have a lot. We're going to have a lot.
Yeah, like Bama, Texas, that every single year, like you mentioned upsets. I mean, that was a massive upset last weekend. I feel like we were at. They were 7-point dogs.
Wasn't it crazy, though, to think that Alabama was 7-point favorites, but there were so many more question marks on the Alabama team than it was on Texas. That was strictly because it was in Tuscaloosa and Nick Saban's.
Bingo. Night game.
We just have faith Nick Saban will be able to figure it out. And Sarkisian's like, we are a really good team.
Yeah.
Really, really good team.
Would have beat him last year if Ewers didn't get hurt.
Bro, they're big.
It was question marks about him too, though. Quinn Ewers coming into that game, and he dropped his nuts.
Yeah,
huge game.
Threw like three picks in a game last year. Yeah, had like below 50% completion rate in one game last year. He like had the Josh Allen thing, where like his arm is so talented that he's just making throws that you shouldn't, and they weren't. It wasn't going well. It was like, can he rein that in a little bit? And yeah, I'm thinking he can.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm thinking
he
can.
He's healthy.
Hadn't had a touchdown pass over 20 yards or something like that. I think Reese
air yards, yeah.
I think Reese Davis came by and said that. That was crazy.
And that pressure in the building, like Arch Manning's coming to Texas. It's not like I'm the only option here. Like I'm sure that was something too. Where it's if I screw up, and I think someone actually did say it. Like he's 2 or 3 bad plays away from everyone just chanting Arch's name.
Hey, very proud of you, Quinn.
Yeah.
Go Quinn.
How about Ohio State though? I mean, Ohio State has had Joey Burrow leave, Quinn Ewers. He was there and left. Like these guys can't get on the field at Ohio State and they go.
How do you feel about Ohio State? Because whenever Michigan was at 4 on the general's list, you got pissed.
Yep.
And Ohio State at 1, obviously you got pissed. You went to Penn State. I mean, can you not just have appreciation that the Big Ten's being represented in a big way because Penn State hasn't been able to do that for a long time? Is that happening this year, though? Is Penn State an actual team this year?
Well, we had a conversation earlier. I think you're kind of jumping on this bandwagon a little bit. Maybe just a little bit.
Well, I watched the entire game against West Virginia, and I'm like, you know what? All the mistakes that I've seen Penn State make in the past in situations, they're seemingly different this year. They're bigger, stronger, faster.
Quarterback's awesome.
Quarterback is an Ohio guy. Seems like he loves the football. And it's like, can James Franklin guide the boys to something bigger this year? Maybe it is the year they can do that.
Maybe it is. And Michigan and Ohio State are obviously great teams, but I do think Ohio State doesn't have that quarterback they've had in years past. It might be a little
AJ, Herbie is talking about this. I don't know if it was on a call with him or on game day. To be honest, everything's kind of just blurring together now at this point. But the Ohio State fan reaction to McCord after they win by 20 in the first game, he said it was like loud over there. And then I think one of his takes was they're expecting him to be C.J. Stroud right now, who's just the number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft. They forget that, like, hey, there's going to be development when a new guy comes in because it hasn't had to happen in a while or whatever. Is it still loud over there about McCord in Ohio? Is that always going to be the case?
Not as loud. I mean, it's like anything when they had kind of 2 guys, they didn't have an exact starter until basically yesterday or today. Yeah, people, if the first guy's not lighting it up completely, there's people naturally will say, hey, wait, why isn't this other guy in? And so I think now it's all right that he's officially the starter, but all that matters is the Notre Dame game coming up. They want to see how they do against Notre Dame. They better go up there and find a way to get a win. It's going to be a tough one. Notre Dame's good this year.
Yeah, very good. Any win, good win, right, against Notre Dame? Win by 1, win by 10?
I'd say. Win by 1, that's a win.
Ohio State fans feel that way, though?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of those games, I think.
They're respectable team.
Yeah, but these Ohio State fans are bananas.
Yeah, they're wackos, but I think it's
awesome. Not all of them, obviously. We're not saying that. Herbie has done the entire 15% talk and everything. It is all college football fans. Just letting you know, as somebody that picks against a lot of teams every single week on a stage that is saying, hey, every college football fan will watch you, and then you'll have to pick against 10 teams. You will have to.
Yeah.
This is how it's going to go. There's a lot of fans that expect a lot and have a lot of passion, which is what makes college football great. But the Ohio State ones, like, it does feel like they live and die with every single snap. And it's like, if it's not perfect, you're taking happiness away from me. And I am not going to let that particular thing fly. You can be out the door. We can get a next guy in there. And I guess that's just when expectations are bananas. That's what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And I think with Notre Dame now, like, the name always has been, one thing, but Sam Hartman has legitimized them, and now everyone's kind of like, hey, Notre Dame's not just this same team where if they make it to the college football playoff, they'll end up playing a team from the SEC and getting beat by 40 in the first round. Like, they could actually beat some people this year. They're very good.
And Sam Hartman, one rib down.
That's right.
What?
Wears it around his neck.
Everybody else got all the ribs. He's got one less rib.
Like Adam and Eve.
Well, yeah, because you take the rib, right?
Marilyn Manson. Same thing.
Yeah. Different reasons.
Right. I wonder if he can do that, though.
That was to get to his
No,
baloney.
I think he got the rib up here taken, not down here.
Who? Marilyn Manson?
No.
Got ribs on your shoulder?
Well, they had to relieve the pressure. You didn't watch the special done by Jen Lotto?
No. It was a good piece by Jen Lotto.
Yeah, we
His
were
mom
there.
used the Dremel tool.
We watched it together, actually.
Yeah, but it sounds like you didn't want the Alabama fans. They were not too keen on seeing this guy's bloody rib on this big.
No, they weren't.
They were booing this dude.
Oh, yeah.
Jen Lotto was telling like a cool story, and it was happening, and the band was burn. I was laughing. I enjoyed it so much. I'm like, I appreciate you guys just being like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And get that bloody rib off of my screen. He said he wasn't wearing it this week because it was too sharp.
Yeah, not on the field, no.
Yeah, he said it's actually not that.
You should use it. Fucking, get some guy in the Achilles, slash somebody.
Hey, look at his beard, too.
Yeah,
Beard,
good-looking fella.
hair.
Good beard.
I mean, he's got it figured out right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Marcus Freeman recruited the hell out of him.
Oh, yeah.
That was basically his answer.
Smart.
Whenever I asked him about, hey, I'm sure there was other teams that were asking for your services. Imagine if Alabama's got Sam Hartman.
Right. I mean, Ohio State.
How big is that running back?
Huge.
Estimate?
Huge.
Saw him after the weather delay take it for like
230.
Oh,
80.
yeah.
I'm like, who
First play.
And they will, too. They're not, Notre Dame not scared, even with Sam Hartman, obviously, and how incredibly talented he is, extended plays. They will, we're old school football.
Yeah.
Punch you in the mouth.
They will do that thing.
Good O-line.
Good teams.
Good O-line.
They want to win the Joe Moore Award this year. They said they're going to win it.
They've won it a bunch in the last couple of years.
Michigan, right now?
Yeah.
Michigan. And I
The
think
team that you got all upset about being ranked at number 4.
Who votes on that?
Boo-hoo.
They lost a lot of guys, too.
AQ needs a vote for sure.
Yeah, who does vote for the Joe Moore?
Like, who knows a good O-line? It's tough to know, especially individual O-linemen who is good.
Notre Dame's tackles projected as number one tackle.
Number one?
Number one.
Ooh.
Nice.
Did you watch film on him? Do you believe it?
Him and Penn State.
I haven't seen much of
What
him
about
yet.
Penn State?
I'll watch a little bit on him. Penn State's number 2. The Olu Fashono.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he supposed to be like a top 5 pick last year?
And he chose to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We all thought that was a bad idea.
Big time.
Just thought it was a bad idea.
Always a bad idea.
But now we've all played.
I don't know.
And what's that?
Maybe he likes college, though, for real. Haven't you talked to guys that got in the league like, man, I kind of wish I would have stayed, actually, another year.
Yeah, not top 3 picks. Top
No.
5. Yeah.
No, yeah, it depends when you pick.
Yeah, normally you can find happiness in that particular part, Well, I miss the student union. Okay, build one in your basement.
Yep.
Okay, let's kind of take advantage of the situation that we're in, knowing that this situation in a physical sport, a combat sport, a very injury-laden sport. Let's take advantage of where we're at. But some guys aren't thinking that way, so I respect them. But every time they do it, I will say I think that's a dumb decision, especially if you can be a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
That's just not normal. But old buddy might get better this year. He might have been the biggest believer in Penn State this year out of everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm willing to risk $25 million to come back and do this. Good for him. Maybe this is the year Penn State's back.
Yeah.
Maybe.
New
Tough
QB.
test next week, but yeah.
Who they got?
Fucking Hawkeyes are coming up to Happy Valley, baby. Trying to
I'm
play
glad it's at Penn State. I'm glad.
McNamara's feeling good.
Why? You guys don't like waving to the kids in the hospital?
Wow.
No, I just think that atmosphere, especially the night atmosphere at Iowa, is awesome.
Yeah, I got a chance to see a game out there. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
No service.
No.
Nobody has any phone service.
So everyone's locked in.
You're literally, your phone does nothing. You're sitting in the middle of all these humans in the middle of Iowa. You can't talk or hear anybody on your phone. So you're literally just in the moment.
Yeah.
It's like you take a trip back in time. It was awesome. The Iowa football experience was awesome.
Fans are right here. You're sitting on the bench trying to pay attention. They're right there.
Iowa doesn't get a lot of respect for that.
I was going to say, yeah.
Should get more.
We took the train there, too. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, there's a train.
Hawkeye Express, baby.
Yeah, people were very boozed up on that thing.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was like we took a trip back in time.
Checked into the hotel and they handed us 2 beers right away.
Ice cold
It was
ones.
awesome.
Yeah, it was like standard hotel too, not like a trashy hotel.
Right.
It was like nice hotel, and they're like, "Welcome to Iowa. Here's a nice cold beer, whatever."
That's
I'm
what-
like,
I
I
mean,
love this place.
Yeah, people talk about it, but like it is true. Like with no professional sports team, like those games on Saturdays, like it might as well be an NFL game because like that's all people care about.
So, is it night game? Iowa
at Penn State, it is. Yeah.
Okay, so in December there's no night games though in Happy Valley. Is that what I heard?
It's a great question.
I don't know if possible because it's impossible to travel.
Yeah.
Allegedly, a big part of the NBC Peacock conversation about what games they get for prime time on Saturday because Fox isn't going to give up a lot of. Because remember, Fox owns all the Big Ten TV rights. The former Big Ten commissioner Kevin Warren, who's now at the Bears, basically said, "Hey, I would like to." He did a great job too. Yeah, he said, "We're not playing football, coach. You're the first guy to say that in Ohio. That's where the general was born."
Right.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
So the Big Ten commissioner actually goes to Fox and says, "Hey, there's a lot of money for football happening right now. Is there any way I can sublease some of the games that you guys have under rights and give them to another network as these platforms are trying to build?" Good business decision there. Now, did he tell the truth on which games he was allowed to potentially sell the rights to from Fox to every network that was potentially bidding on that? Who knows? There's different stories, rumblings behind the scenes of what some places thought they were potentially getting, what they actually got. And then as that conversation started to brew about like, oh, there's not a lot of Ohio State games, not a lot of Michigan games. There's a lot of Northwestern Illinois games potentially available.
Rutgers.
And then it was like, oh, well, Penn State's going to be a big part of this. And then the conversation started like in December, though, there's been rules made, I think, by your university about not having night games because of how hard it is to travel in December with the weather and people having to get in and out of there. I think was something that was kind of being chatted about.
Makes sense.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because it's impossible to get up there, right?
It's impossible, and then plus obviously in December you can get snow in November. You can get snow in October up there, right? It's tough to get.
Why'd you go there? Just because of the prestige of what Penn State was for a long time? How's the campus? Is it a good campus?
Campus is awesome. Great party school. Great party.
Good
school.
times.
Great times.
And then Sandusky recruited you, right?
Relax. And then I
thought that was one of the reasons. You like the cut of his jib.
He was he was on the other side. I think he was linebacker.
I thought he did linebackers and O-line.
Well,
he might have.
AQ, you're a D lineman coming
went in as a D lineman.
Oh, so it was.
Yeah.
They were you a linebacker?
No, D line.
But
they have an outside.
They're stand you up.
No, I wish. I would be now.
Well, I don't know. You're probably looking like kicker punter right now.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
Yeah, you and Kevin Kelly would have had to jokes.
Wow.
There's Joe Bush saying,
Look
"We
at that
love you."
hair.
Hey, Cush, we love you. Hey, Cush. That's what Joe Paterno said.
Yep.
He's a great
I was big right there.
Oh, is high school trying to get big, or was this after basketball season?
After basketball season, 300-ish.
You were just bullying people in the paint.
Yeah. Imagine trying to get a rebound around that fridge.
Guys, Hall of Famer, actual Hall of Fame high school basketball player.
Yeah.
This thing.
This thing.
1,000 points, right?
Legend.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to the phones. Congrats to you and congrats to Penn State. But I think that was the plan for NBC was like, all right, we'll do a lot of Penn State stuff.
Yes.
And then it came up in conversation that it doesn't happen.
This is from 2009, so it's a bit aged, but it was a whole conference. Like it was a Big Ten rule that November, December, no night games.
Okay. So it wasn't just Penn State. It was the whole, which that makes more sense that came up in conversation because NBC got primetime games for Big Ten. And it's like, well, actually, we don't do this.
So
we actually have a mandate.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
No primetime games. So that's what you got sold. So good luck out there. Have we checked out the NBC setup? We're 2 weeks into it. Have we?
Yeah, we watched.
I don't think I've seen it
one
enough.
time.
Watch some of it.
Who do we got? They got Castle,
M-Rob,
Maria,
and Joshua Perry.
Yeah. He's an Ohio State guy.
I thought Collinsworth's on it too. Or he's calling.
No, Jack calls the Notre Dame game.
Okay, that's it.
with Jason Garrett.
Bingo.
Yeah.
He didn't start.
Hey, Jason Garrett. I don't listen to a lot of the Notre Dame games. TV on, not listening though. No, would like Jack, like Jason, whatever. Jason Garrett on that Football Night in America. No flubs.
No,
he's pretty good.
I think he's good.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that hold his.
Sure.
The clapper.
Against him from when he was the Dallas Cowboys coach and how the whole thing ended and how the whole thing went. On TV, though, I think Jason Garrett is a weapon.
Made for TV.
I think so. I think he's very good on Football Night in America.
Cowboys and then in for the Giants, so he's not used to, the bright lights don't bother him at all. I think he was kind of made to do that.
Pretty good player, too, right?
Yeah.
Backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Jason Garrett?
Quarterback, former head coach. Obviously got a ton of football knowledge. So the longer you do it, better he gets.
Saw him smoking Stokes out at the with the boys out at the Pro Bowl, too.
Love that.
So I think he's like a human, too. That's why every time you see him on TV, look at that robotic fuck up. Is that a human? Why is that human like that? And then he starts getting on a microphone. It's like, oh, good guy. We should do this.
I like this guy.
I do like this a lot. He was always just trying to be the positive guy, which I think he's remaining on Football Night in America. I think they're doing well. The game day thing that they're doing, though, those people are there all day, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, good luck out there.
Yeah, keep it going.
Good luck out there. Some of those college parking lots, I'm like, hot, very hot.
Yeah,
very, very, very hot.
Next week I'm going to get a good dose of it with Notre Dame, Ohio State. We're going to hear it then.
That's, by the way, that would probably be
one of the
game day sites. We would think that would be.
There's a couple big ones next week, but yeah, probably.
Oh man,
that would be great.
Because is the week after Notre Dame USC, or is that 2 weeks after?
Well, I don't know
because I got a couple.
All I'm thinking about is
logistically.
That's a 20-minute flight.
Yeah.
That is right there. Probably fly home, sleep.
Yeah.
Probably drive home, sleep.
Still wake up and catch the game later that night.
Oh my!
Yeah.
This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, well, I was looking before because Clemson lost, so Florida State, Clemson not as big now.
Nah, you don't have to worry about that.
Colorado, Oregon.
Oh, that might be the
damn
one, and that is.
Is that Eugene? Yeah.
That is so far. Coach Corso talking about going to Colorado was a funny thing in the middle of the pick segment.
But Ohio State, Notre Dame, Colorado, Oregon, those are probably the
Oregon was beautiful so far. It is so far.
Oh yeah. Top left.
You forget how big America is until you're just still on the plane.
Right.
You know, still on the
All
plane.
respect to Colorado and Oregon. Ohio State and Notre Dame's fan bases are.
You got to go to
no
that
doubt.
one.
Yeah, but that Colorado Oregon one, I guess Notre Dame Ohio State massive implications.
Top
as well.
10, right?
Happy I don't have to make the decision. Let's go to Kevin in Fort Worth on the phones. What's going on, Kevin?
How we doing? Keep it moving.
Nailed it.
Hey, I got an idea for Jim Irsay to improve the halftime show. The Carolina Panthers figured it out a couple years ago with the mixed reality panther jumping up and down the stadium.
Love that thing.
I want Takate, mixed reality, swimming around, and then he jumps out of the stadium to the Titanic theme song.
Okay.
No, free
Kevin, thank you for that.
Might cost a little.
I hope Conti's listening. I'm calling him.
Yeah.
That would be sweet though. If you saw Takate gliding through the fake
kidding me?
water.
I don't know how often
Willie
this
theme
happens
song.
on an ESPN program. I'm calling the head PR guy for the Colts right now.
And then it ascends to heaven.
Yeah. Or then like
No,
Moby Dick
what if it
shoots
jumps
it.
out of the window and lands in the 757 that Jim Irsay?
Oh,
There we go. Airbus beluga.
it's real. They flew a beluga in that.
Did they have any kids?
Oh,
Takite?
Any baby whales
Well,
come out of Takate?
They also killed themselves when Takite
didn't
died.
have room to have sex.
Oh no.
This is
You're right.
unbelievable.
Definitely
Also,
not enough room. in the
what's he
bathtub.
doing?
Oh, well.
So busy.
What hole did he crawl into?
Hey, hope you're happy, Conti.
Unbelievable.
The world, more specifically your fans, aren't going to get a chance to see Takate swim one last time.
Son of a bitch.
I'm sure Jim Irsay will be happy to hear that you just hung up on an idea that will glorify Lolita.
How about that?
Good luck keeping your job, Conti.
Yeah. We should just call Jim.
Good call. No, I can't.
Good call.
Can't abuse that. Can't abuse that one. Let's go to Adam in St. Louis. Adam, what's going on, pal?
Hey, man. Currently in St. Louis, and I'm 6 years in, no NFL team after my Rams left me. If I could have some advice on a new NFL team to pick, and no Chiefs.
Patriots.
I'm not a Chiefs fan.
Who have you picked
can't
up?
take Chiefs.
Who have you picked up? Who have you been cheering for?
My uncle is from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, so he's been trying to push me to become a Steelers fan. So I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just been riding with my fantasy team, the 69ers, right now.
Okay, well, not a bad choice either of those teams.
Yeah.
You know what? I think a team will choose you, Adam. You don't need to. You don't need to choose a team, right, AJ?
Yeah, of course. Or just pick a couple players you like to watch them.
Yeah, but he sounds like he wants to be a part of pro.
No, he should be a Steelers fan, honestly. If you want to be like, if there's a place that is more of like a community, family type atmosphere as a fan, it's the Steelers.
As someone who's rooting for a team right now, don't pick one up. Sundays are much better when you don't have a squad to root for.
Yeah, be like me.
Have 60.
No, don't be like that, dude.
You know?
That's terrible.
Gump, so the Doll fam, the Fins Up community, does not claim Darius? Is that what
You
you're
just
saying?
can't have 6 teams, dude. It's not fair. It's not right.
Yeah, D-But's watching, Chargers, Dolphins, and he's just celebrating every single touchdown because he wants both teams
Great
to win.
Sunday.
It's on the,
Dog fight like
the
that.
Eagles.
Maybe he figured it out. Hey.
Herbert, yeah. That's actually not that bad of an idea, especially if your two teams put on the best show of the weekend.
Yeah.
36-34, right?
Oh, yeah.
Bang.
Down to the last play pretty much. Had to dial it up, get him on the ground.
Could you imagine if the Chargers were playing against any of those teams that just played like complete crop? They probably have a weekend where it's like 40-0.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they probably play incredibly, and we have a completely different story about it. Now it's like, is Brandon Staley ever gonna, figure it out? Because they just so happen to play one of the 3 teams that played very, very well, and they were the 4th team. But it won't get. You're not out on the Chargers yet, right?
No. I mean, Staley, big year for Staley. Said it coming in this season. Big year for Brandon Staley.
Sounds like he's out on the
He's
head
out.
coach.
Yeah, sounds like he's out.
Yep.
Yeah, more in on the Doll fam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's a front
That's
runner.
good, Gump.
There you go.
Welcome home, D-Bud.
You guys won his affection. You guys won his affection on Sunday.
Welcome home.
They're a very welcoming bunch, too.
Yeah.
The Dolphins fans?
Oh, yeah.
No, they
They're
are
active.
not.
They're awesome.
They're in the streets, my friend.
They're an active bunch.
Oh, yeah.
I respect the hell out of
I
them.
will have to honestly say, though, the best NFL fan base is the Steelers fan base.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're
biggest.
everywhere. Every place has a Steelers bar. Like that's definitely the best.
Every game has a Steelers jersey in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts to see that they're everywhere.
Well, Yinzers, like if you walk through an airport,
yes,
you will know exactly which flight is going to Pittsburgh. There'll be hundreds and hundreds of flights. You're walking by gates. You're going to get your luggage or whatever. You cannot look at the screen and just look at the group of humans that are getting on a plane and be like, that one's going to Pittsburgh. Now, this one, going to a warm weather climate somewhere. This one here, that must be international, seemingly. That one, those motherfuckers are going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It is just the most obvious thing of all time. There's a look, there's a feel, there's a vibe, and there's definitely some sort of Steelers gear on
You have to fly,
somewhere.
You have to fly with one of the
Or
team's
tattoos.
logos or
Or Steelers
a
tattoos.
412 logo.
Definitely
Golf
Steelers
bags.
tattoos. Yeah.
It's in the blood.
They're
You
like
have to
college
travel
fans.
with black and gold on.
They are like college fans. It's a college fan base. You're right, AJ. That's why you said to old cuz to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Yeah, if you're right, if you're on a flight and you don't even know it, you're like, oh, why is there 85 people here wearing Georgia shirts? Oh, because Georgia's playing a game, or whoever they're playing this week, wherever they are.
It is very similar to that. And the thing about colleges is how many people go to Ohio State total?
I think like 50K undergrad.
Jesus Christ.
So that's every year.
40,
It's churning out.
40, 50. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's alumni everywhere. That's the thing. They spread out.
And for Pittsburgh, I do believe the story is the reason why Steelers fans are everywhere is because, people working in Pittsburgh in mills, steel mills, they move those things across the country to continue to expand. So a lot of Pittsburghers basically got picked up, uprooted, and moved to other places. And that became a big-time Yinzer expansion into the United States of America, which made America better, obviously.
Amen.
And created America. You're welcome.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yinzers.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Massachusetts created America, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you guys certainly just were a pit stop up there. Let's go to the phones.
We were the first pit stop, if you will.
Yeah, just a little out the gate. Like where
Bingo.
they put the horses into the little things. Everybody comes in here, you're in the thing, and then right to Pittsburgh, and then everywhere else.
Well, guess what happens when those horses run? They come right back home. They finish where the gates open.
And then what happens to them?
And then they get shot in the fucking head.
Jeez.
It's a tough business. It's a tough business. That's the reality.
We don't know why. We never understood it. Don't ask us. We're just telling you about the
If they
truth.
break their leg, they're not going to rehab them. That's why.
Arts and crafts doesn't come together without any glue, huh?
Let's go to the fence. Let's go to Roman in Virginia. We don't like it.
No, I hate it.
This is not us
Do they
promoting.
really use horses to make glue, though? Is that real, or is that an old wives' tale?
I don't know if it's, I think it's just one of those. I think at some point probably it was a part of it, but I believe we've read on the show that it's no longer.
Yeah, I've also been seeing a lot of horses laying down lately. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I told you, and you guys.
It's important to remember that glue has been around much longer than modern technology. Of course, in the past, glue was made from animal-based collagen and traditionally obtained from horses.
Boom.
But now other animals such as cattle and pigs are more commonly used.
We're wasting bacon on glue. Are you kidding me?
Not a good choice.
Well,
Give me the bacon.
there's going to be people that are mad that we even read that. We would like to let you know we ain't making a glue.
No.
We are just letting you know what's happening.
Talking about it.
Okay? We have no cattle, no pigs, no horses.
If you're a vegan, are you technically a vegan if you use glue?
Well, and also, like you wear not a leather belt. Let's say you wear a string belt. At some point, though, something's going to be glued to something.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I never thought about
What about like sandals? A lot of sandals, I think, in the vegan community. Like,
Yeah.
Somewhere there has to be glue right from the bottom of the thing. To
I
the,
think. Unless they're using rubber cement.
It could.
Oh, that's what they're using.
I wonder where that
Well,
comes
what's rubber cement have in it?
We can Google.
Probably like swans or something even more majestic.
100% sustainable materials.
We can certainly Google. I mean, this is a real
look
thing.
it
We
up.
need to help the vegans out.
Might be Doggy Day.
We need to let them know. I haven't even thought of that.
Could see whales being rubber cement.
I don't know if there's enough of them.
There are vegan-friendly glues.
Oh, there's
Okay.
Okay.
I bet those work.
Elmer's and Gorilla Glue are both vegan-friendly.
Okay, and they do. Both of them work very well. Rubber cement, cow gum, is an adhesive made from elastic polymers mixed in a solvent such as acetone, hexane, heptane, and toluene.
Toluene is a quality solvent.
Is that cleaner? You use that as a cleaner?
Yeah, it's very good stuff.
That guy used to paint ships out there.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. All right, a man that didn't paint ships, we don't assume. Roman in Virginia, last call of the day. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, Pat and boys. Don't want to talk about glue, that's for sure. But as a pale white out here in Virginia, Pat, got to commend that left bicep, man. Had a lot of vascularity in there. Love to see it. Love to see it.
This guy.
Nice.
Thank you, Roman.
And I don't want to be a terrible transition to AQ's trenches, but I got to ask AQ in particular, what are the Browns going to do with Jack Tomlin going down this year? I mean, that's a tough loss early in the season. What do we do?
It's a great question. We got the mountain of a man from Ohio State moving in at right tackle. He's obviously a little bit of a drop-off just because he's younger, but I think they'll speed him along. Still top 2, top 3 offensive line in the NFL.
And also, we love Chubb. I saw him on the sidelines a couple times.
What is he doing there?
Very weird.
What are we doing? Put the guy on the field.
Stefanski's trying to get shit game.
Protect him?
Well, he tried to get Baker out of town.
Right.
That was an awesome moment we revisited there that I did not expect to revisit on this particular day. But as I'm trying to set the Baker Mayfield table here, that was awesome. Hey, Coach Stefanski, do you think Baker's accuracy is potentially affected by the brace that he's being forced to wear? Absolutely. Yes, it's definitely making it hard. He can't all follow through. It's very uncomfortable. We understand that he's battling through some stuff, and we appreciate him. 2 days later, he drives back against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense with TJ Watt and the boys. It threw for like 50 times. Had Nick Chubb on the sideline. It's like, oh, this guy's trying.
Yeah.
This guy's trying to make this guy look bad, seemingly.
The other thing, too, is that playoff win they had, the only playoff win they've had in the Stefanski era, he wasn't even coaching because he had COVID.
Oh, yeah.
So he wasn't even on the field.
That. Remember, they wouldn't let him because we pitched the idea. Let's put the guy in a Pope mobile, okay, from his house, walks in the back, sitting in the glass. Driving from Cleveland to Pittsburgh, nobody, just him and his terrible COVID.
Yeah.
Then put him in one of those suits,
Bubble boy.
hazmat suits.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
One of those hazmat suits. Have him walk his ass up to a suite in Heinz Field at the time.
Yep.
Heinz Field?
Yeah.
What's it now?
They ended Heinz Field.
Acrisure.
That's an interesting name.
It is.
Michigan-based company.
Oh, wow.
The owner, the creator of the company's from Pittsburgh. So.
Okay. All right. We're using you guys for tax benefits, probably.
You made that up. You totally made that up.
Nick?
I honestly don't know.
Oh, that's Anyways, why couldn't he walk into Acrisure in a hazmat suit, go up to a suite, they kind of tape it down, and then he's able to call plays? I never understood why they didn't let that happen.
No, it made no sense.
Why wasn't there enough bobbing and weaving through that whole COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not getting into it. I just asked a pretty open-ended question there.
Yeah.
I mean, Fauci did, sir.
All right.
Yeah, there it is.
He said the other day, he said we don't need masks.
Did you see that? Babyface turn out of Fauci.
Yeah, I saw that.
Or maybe he's finally telling the truth.
Well,
Was he calling this winter the winter of death again?
well, that was certainly alarming. When he canceled Christmas and said everybody's going to die, that was certainly a time where I was like, Bud, you need to throw a better opening pitch than that if you're going to say this type of stuff.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah. Need you to do it. But I did appreciate him saving all of our attempting to. We did appreciate. Way to go, Fauci.
Thank you, Dr. Fauci.
Way to go, Fauci. Boy. He made a baby first turn, though. Said,
yeah, he did.
We're not doing masks. COVID.
Come on.
That was amazing. You know what else is amazing? The fact that we get to learn about offensive line football every single week.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the first edition of the second season installment of In the Trenches with A.Q. Shipley.
Boys, it is so good to be back.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
so glad to be talking offensive line football with you guys. And
Looks small.
relax. AJ.
Camera's behind you.
Relax.
Camera's
In a
behind you.
good way, though, AQ.
Is it
You
this
look
one?
lean.
It's
very
not,
lean.
It's that
Who's
one in
bigger?
the middle.
Don't you stand on your
Pat,
toes.
Pat is
Who's
very
taller?
big,
What's
though.
up, dude?
Pat, what do you weigh, 255, you said?
Yeah, probably if I had to
That's what I'm
guess.
saying. Pat's a big old dude right now.
Yeah, look at it. Go ahead. We can do it.
You want
we
you
know.
want to tell us what to do on this offensive line play?
No, I'm going to move this, though, so you can get active.
Are those
All right, perfect.
skinny jeans, AQ?
Yeah, what do you think?
They look pretty
Waist
good.
are those
Not
30,
bad.
what are
How
those,
we doing?
32 waist?
Wow.
36 down from a
Jeez.
42 when I played. So this is
Jeez.
big. This is big.
Hey, that's like a big upside of getting skinny is the fashion, right?
That's exactly right. I'm back. I'm back. I'm in department stores now.
Oh,
What's
Dillard's,
H&M?
Macy's.
I think I did a little Nordstrom.
Nordstrom?
Nordstrom. Right.
Sweet footwork.
Fancy, huh?
You
Thanks.
fancy son of a bitch.
Some new shoes.
Leather?
Some new shoes.
Are those Nobles?
Wow.
What are they called?
Common Projects.
Common projects. There
Oh,
it
yeah.
is. See, I need D-Butt to help me out here. Hey, who was?
There was another white saying projects on a cell phone video. I
Oh,
saw.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
did see
was.
that one.
Alabama fan?
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, we all saw it.
Yep.
Do that.
They were not happy, though.
That was AQ's boy, right?
Well, he's wearing the shoes, I think.
I am.
Nah,
Hey,
that's
those-
high fashion right there.
Hey, those dudes,
High fashion.
with what they were saying,
Yeah.
I just immediately was like, oh, I see how that whole fold chair fight could have potentially happened.
Bingo.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just not going to say broad brush painting, but seems like there's a few that potentially, will believe that till death.
Yeah, that was brutal.
About how it goes. And then they'll be eating chairs.
Yeah.
That's the
You
way
know
it
what I
works.
mean?
And
There's a
there's-
chance that's going to take place.
And you're singing Dixieland Delight. You assume there are a couple of those bad eggs in there.
Bingo.
Boy,
Bingo.
when that song was being sung.
But we watched the clip this morning. This morning, actually, we went back and watched that clip of the intro with
It
just
was
singing.
ape shit.
So cool.
It was absolutely ape shit in there. Anyways, let's go in the trenches with AQ Shipley.
Hey,
Atta
this-
baby.
Here you go,
This-
AQs.
This first clip from week 1 is not the same old Lions. It's the
Brand new Lions.
perfect. And I love this. Here we got a new back. We got Montgomery who came over from Chicago. But check this out. This is what gets really cool.
Whoa.
We're running a counter back this way. But check it out. Laporta, right? They draft him in the first round. They said they wanted a physical
where?
tight end.
Where'd he go?
I think a Hawkeye, maybe?
I think he is.
I think he's a
Tight ends.
Hawkeye.
Oh,
I didn't you.
Tight end you, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
they say.
Coach Campbell, he said he wanted not just a pass catcher, he wanted a physical tight end. So we're going to start with the lead. This is at a moment when they needed to score. They had to take the lead right now against the defending champs, and they run power lead back this way. We're going to focus on guard here. Guard's going to kick out first guy on the end of the line of scrimmage here. Second wrapper is going to come around for this guy right here. But here's the key. Big V is a monster. Big V is a monster at guard. Doesn't do his best work right here. So let's focus in on Penei Sewell, one of the best, if not the best right tackle in football.
Whoa.
Take 2 right here. As the double team falls apart, Big V gets thrown off. Penei takes down lineman and the linebacker to open up the hole for Montgomery to score. This is awesome stuff in week 1 from the Lions. Let's check this thing out.
Cowboy remote. Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Here we go. We get the
Shout out-
motion.
Shout out, Fiero.
Boom.
Boom. Boom. Boom.
Take
Boom.
2 guys.
Yeah, let's check this out.
So
Let's
He
rewind
gets
this.
low, AQ. He gets low and digs them out. Not many
Now,
people can do that.
That's exactly what I was going to point out. Look at the bend of Sewell. And here's what we always teach on this double team. A lot of coaches teach the high leg. Some coaches teach go get it. But at the end of the day, what you have to watch is hitting the hip of the down guy. That is how you move people. You hit people in the shoulder, that's how double teams split. But when you can get down, and did you see that bend?
Whoa.
Yeah. Did you see that bend?
Jeez,
Let's see that again.
please.
Bam! Hey, lift him. Get him out. Use that flipper. We call this a flipper arm right here. Boom. He's going to lift him, take him, now climb on the back or there it is. Watch this. Watch.
Movement.
Boom.
Laporta. What a block.
Great execution.
Safety's out to
How good is
lunch.
that? How good is that?
For the win.
Let's go.
How good is that? How good is that? Really good stuff. Oh, one of my favorite schemes in football, boys. What do we got here? What do we got here? We got a wham. So here's the thing.
Yep.
Let's check this thing out. With the wham, it's really cool. You got to watch this. We start right here. Ricard, the fullback.
Right.
Big
right
boy.
guard, Zeitler.
Right.
And then we go here. These guys are all going to do the same thing, and they are going to.
Forgot his name.
Number 76.
Yeah, he's a new guy.
Yeah, he's good new
Here's
guy.
the deal. Here's the deal. They're going to open, and they're all going to pull and trap behind the adjacent lineman. So here we go. We got Morgan Moses. We got Linderbaum, the center. We got Stanley all making it look like they're running zone.
Only don't know that guy.
And let's keep it moving. And so, as we watch this, we get left tackle, center, and right tackle all making it look like zone going this way, and look at everybody else going behind, and we get the traps. This is called a wham. Check out Ricard. Hits the down lineman, goes to his knees. Now watch him keep driving here. This is incredible.
Wow.
And we got a big gaping hole.
That felt good to have that back a little bit.
That did, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a nice Saturday night, too.
Number 76 is John Simpson.
There it is, John Simpson. That's exactly who it was.
Big John.
Tough son of a bitch.
You got to love this, though. This is such a good scheme, and I love this scheme, and there's no drop-off with Gus Edwards. He's been in that system for a long time. New offensive coordinator, running the same old offense. Apparently, they just didn't like Greg Roman because they running the same shit, but this is cool. Here we go. We get the wham, boom, boom, and you get the huge hole out the front side. This is awesome
Their
stuff.
offense didn't look good. You have faith?
Yeah, just because they got players. I mean, and they'll continue to get better cohesiveness with the receivers and everything.
Could Ricard
moving forward.
play center if he wanted to? Maybe guard?
Could. And I actually like the kid Macari who came in later in the game. But yeah, I mean, I even know their backup lineman. See that?
Well, you don't know their starting line.
John Simpson. I do.
Big John.
John Simpson is a player. You've been talking about him all week.
Exactly. Just slipped my mind. Here we go.
He's straight out of Clemson. Dabo knows how to do it down there.
That's exactly right.
John Simpson.
Yeah, he makes his team in the name, image, and likeness of God.
Hey, he's 330 pounds, dude. So the name, image, and likeness is a big one. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it.
Small. He would break you in half.
If he saw you,
he would. I still got a little. You see that?
Jay Glazer.
Oh,
you got that Jay Glazer.
Still got a little
lightning
fluidity
in your hands.
That's it.
Wow.
Hey, do I like this team?
What's that?
Do I like this team?
Which one?
Who are the Steelers?
Love them.
Not the Steelers. 49ers.
Whoa.
Hey, best run game in football, best football team in the National Football League.
Whoa.
Right now, power rankings have to be 49ers number one. They're starting a 3-by-1 scheme. They're going to motion Kittle over to a 2-by-2. Now, check this out. We get this. Little zone combination. These three have these three. Trent Williams, Kittle, Ayuk. Arguably 3 of the 4 best players on offense, right? But check this out. Corner's going to fold back in. Ayuk can't get to him. Center guard do a great job. Banks, look at the center, get up here. Right shoulder to the outside. Boom, we get that. Now check this out. Ayuk can't get to his guy. So when that happens, you got to have the back make somebody miss. Here we go. There's the spin. No, wait. No, let's get this back. Let's get this back.
Jeez Louise, Ayuk.
This dude, Ayuk,
family,
could have just quit right here. Could have just stopped. Some receivers will. But sees the play still going. Continues up. Now watch this monster block coming across. Wait for it.
Uh-oh.
No.
Look at McLeod coming downfield.
Wow.
This is why the 49ers are so good. The effort amongst the wide receivers, that wide receiver group blocks better than any wide receiver group in the National Football League. And this is what turns a 15-yard gain into a 65-yard gain and a touchdown.
Hell yeah.
Look at him, full sellout on that.
It's unbelievable.
Revenge game.
They showing that over and over.
Revenge game for Ray Ray.
Is that intro with Trent Williams, him tapping his ass? Is that him saying it right?
He's letting McCaffrey know we're going out. That's also, some people do that if they say they're letting the back know, hey, we're going out in pass protection. Same thing. He's letting him know
right there
when he comes over that we're going out. 3 for 3. Fan is basically what we're doing. We get the single between the center and the guard up to there. He's tapping, letting Kittle know, hey, we're all going out right here. We're fanning. Hey, McCaffrey, we're going out. Follow us.
He did.
Yes,
He did
Boom.
go out. This spin move.
The spin move.
Holy shit.
And then
Look
the
at this
effort,
block.
Yeah.
That is
And he's looking for another one.
so good.
And that's
contagious. That's like contagious down. The whole team sees that, and they all want to do it.
Oh,
Yeah, you got two tuds. McLeod, I mean, that is a lock for a bet for touchdown score next weekend.
So good.
Because they're going to get him a ball.
Bingo.
Because of this.
Yeah.
Ayuk is playing so well right now. I think he had 2 touchdowns receiving, and he gets that monster block. The cred in the locker room is through the roof right now.
Huge locker room cred.
Oh, here we go.
It's good to have that.
Yeah.
Okay, check it out. Dallas Cowboys are running the same exact play. This is one of my favorite formations in football. 13 personnel. Why do we call it 13 personnel? 1 back, that's the 1. 3 tight ends. There's the 13. Big to defensive players. AJ, Darius, right?
Yep.
Big, because now what's that going to bring onto the field? Base defense, typically a safety down, sometimes 2 safeties down.
Yep.
The reason I love it, if you got an ass-kicking group up front with 13 personnel and you got 8 or 9 guys at the line of scrimmage, once you get past the first line of defense, we got a chance for a home run, don't we, boys?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to run the same play Detroit ran. It's called power lead. We're getting everybody basically going down. We're leaving the end man on this line of scrimmage for the guard, and then the tight end's coming around, kicking out, boom. Now here, let's go back a little bit. Boom, boom, boom,
Boom.
boom,
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 boom, pew, pew.
Boom.
So check it out. When we do this, let's go back a little bit further here.
You got it.
Everybody's got a hat on a hat here, huh?
I got to get back here.
Yeah, I mean,
Because here's the whole thing I want to do. The reason we put this right here, this little spotlight on Zach Martin, is because here's the deal. People don't realize how hard this block is. Amongst this play, this is the only one-on-one block. We get penetration there, we get penetration there. This guy has a 2-way go. He has an inside shade. We call that a 2-eye. Shade, head up on the guard is a 2, 2-eye, 3. He's in a 2-eye. Zach Martin's going to take a little settle step, get into it, and then drive. And watch the torque.
Jeez.
Look at this move in a 330-pound defensive tackle. Torque him inside. There's a reason he held out. There's a reason. Because he's that damn good. He's the best guard in football still. Look at his hand position inside. Once you get your hands inside, JJ talked about it earlier, yeah, we can call holding on every play. That's what we fucking do as offensive line. We hold. But we hold in the right place, in the framework. We use the steering wheel. Get in there in the armpits. Zach Martin's technique is absolutely incredible right here. That is why he's the best guard in football.
Why isn't Sexy Dexy in the game? Did he get hurt, or were they legitimately looking for him to come off the field so they could run a play like this?
No, listen, I mean, sometimes you might get a coordinator in being like, hey, Dexter's off the field, right? Like, you might get a coordinator and say, hey, run this player. Hey, take a shot. Aaron Donald's not in the game, right? Like, that's one of the times you do that. But defensive line rotations, especially early in the season, they're constantly rolling them. They're trying to get 3 plays in, 3 plays out.
Yeah.
So that's typically what happens. But again, in that play, they just do a great job blocking it up.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Let me run this one because this is going to be pretty cool, boys.
You hate these guys.
You ready? Because here's what we're going to do. This team is a zone team. Artie Smith, we love what he's doing down in Atlanta. We love the run game. I was a big proponent of it. Sorry they sucked last year. We couldn't show them as much as we would like. But
As much as you liked.
As much as I'd like.
Yeah, you wanted to show him every week.
Every
When
week.
they were
I
losing
wanted to.
games. You love the way he sets up runs.
Love it. And check this out. This is so cool. And they do it versus a bear defense. The reason we call it bear defense, middle 3 interior are covered. That's what we call it. We call it either a cub or a bear, depending on the amount of backer spots. 2 backer spots. Boom, boom. We call that a bear. If there was 1 backer spot, we would call that a cub. Other people also call it a jam front. Or you can also just call this a 3-4 reduced nose and end. Sam, because the tight end's over here. Sam for strong side. Here's your Mike backer. Here's your Jack or your plug. Here's your Will. So check this out. They're going to run a draw, but what do they do best? They run the zone. So we're going to sell it like it's zone. So check this out. I'm going to pause this right after the play starts. Boom, right? Everybody's selling zone this way. Center even took a step, but now the center puts the brakes on, goes behind, comes and seals the backside end. We get the fullback back up on the jack, and look at the hole that is created on this backside out the backside draw.
Oh my God.
Damn. How cool is that?
That's a big gaping hole.
Yes, it is.
Big
Gaping hole.
Okay, boys, let's check this out again. I'm going to try and stop right there. Boom.
How tough is that block, AQ? How tough is that as a center?
It is so hard. You have to be extremely athletic, but this scheme sells it because the minute all these guys take one step, including the backfield, it gets everybody flowing that way. Now, all he has to do is just put the brakes on, and you have to hope you get exactly that with Burnsy coming flat down the line. Because if he goes up the field, you're kind of screwed. But they know this going into it. They game plan it. Hey, Burnsy's going to be flat down the line. Just arc him, wheel him, whatever you want to call it. Fullback, get around, get back up on the jack or the plug, whatever you want to call it. And boom, you get Bijan Robinson, who's lightning in a bottle. This guy was incredible in week one. They got so many backs. They don't know what to do whenever Cordero Patterson comes back.
The Joker.
Yeah.
Is that game plan to kind of run at a great pass rusher like Burns, or is that just happen?
So they ran this once last year. It's amazing that they brought this out in week one, which is awesome because there's a lot of moving parts to this shit. And it's amazing that they were able to get this repped enough in preseason where it looks this smooth. But I think it has to happen versus they ran it also last year versus a Bear or Cub defense. So when you get the middle three, because now you get everybody locked up here. The only person you got to worry about is hoping that he's the only person on the backside for backside pursuit. He has to crash.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Kicked out of the club.
Yeah. See ya.
Go run, Bijan.
Pretty awesome.
He's so good.
Pretty awesome.
Oh, and this carried over into another season, huh? I see we got a kill shot here.
Nice.
We got a little big bump, right? What are we calling? We calling big bumps?
Yeah, I like a big bump.
All right, we got a little big bump.
A cheap shot normally is what it has been, a celebrating a cheap shot.
Well,
someone getting
it's
hurt.
called what you call a cheap shot, we call smart football, right? Because here's the deal. You help your buddies. As an offensive lineman, when you set and a guy drops or he doesn't come or he loops away from your gap,
why not help?
We get back inside, target lock, and we go get it.
Yeah, you're looking for ribs. We get it. Yeah,
So-
knock guys out. Yeah.
Sam Hartman's rib.
Yeah,
So-
put it on a necklace.
We get baby Trent Williams, Christian Darrisaw, boom. Nobody's coming to him because this guy starts out on number 30, CJ Ham. And then we get the eyes back inside on former first-round pick Logan Hall. Oh, jeez,
Louise. This guy was on this thing a few times last year, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's a physical football player, and I love everything about Christian Darrisaw. Look at that. He had a couple of these in this game. This is just the best one, I thought.
Pretty
Says it-
violent.
Boom!
My God.
Heavy.
Hey, Q, if you're a D lineman, what are you supposed to do there?
Nothing. You just
die.
Fucking hate it. That's it.
Eat it and hate
You
it.
just eat it and hate it and hope to get up again and maybe get a little retribution later in the game.
Blocks two guys. He gets the middle dude, too.
Oh.
And then obviously,
How good is that?
that's a great outcome.
Bad outcome, but the outcome of that hit on Logan Hall echoes the rest of the game.
Absolutely.
Because he's thick, he's sitting there, eyes are head on
That
the
goes
swivel.
for down
eyes
the
are
road,
look-
AQ.
That's exactly
Those ends next week. The ends next 4 weeks are worried about that.
That's exactly right. And you're always thinking about it. You're getting ready to play the Vikings. You know Christian Darrisaw might come back in and hunt some ribs.
What do you do?
You know who's going to set a tone for the next few weeks? This clip is going to be shown in every single NFL building, I assume, more times than the Cincinnati Bengals one. But everybody's going to talk about this clip. I seen this on the internet. This was assault.
This was assault.
This
Yes,
was
it
assault.
This is awesome. I mean,
Well-
Wyatt Teller's becoming one of my favorite football players because of the way he finishes. He had they ran a 39 power bounce where he went out on a corner and decleated someone earlier. He did some really cool stuff in this game because he's physical and he gets after. But check this out. This play starts at like the 43-yard line. By the way, this run could have been in the run segment. Wait till you see the hole that we got going over here with Chubb. This is a man play versus a double barrel. Both linebackers are walked up, AJ, right? If we can catch you guys with both linebackers walked up in the A-gap on a run scheme wide, you're screwed. You are absolutely screwed. So that's what they do. I don't even know if this was a check or not, but check out the block by Njoku on Trey Hendrickson, mind you, who is a all-pro type defensive end. This is an incredible block front side, first of all, to get this thing started. Get Big Batonio out in space. And then, like I said, 43-yard line this started at with Wyatt Teller. Let's watch where this thing finishes at the 20-yard line.
What?
Takes them 25 yards downfield and buries them.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Look at
That's
him. Yes.
Gets up like this.
Guy's got a family.
And the boys,
Look.
and speaking of family,
I don't look as big.
Teller's looking at the offensive lineman, and he is saying, boys, did we just see what just happened? Because you got to remember, when you see something like this, obviously it's a great play, but this guy's a fucking professional athlete too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The guy that he is blocking there, what a run. He doesn't want to see this film ever again.
Nope. Nope.
Look how fast he is.
Oh my God.
I mean, the fact that listen, a lot of guys would just let that block go. They're like, fuck this. I'm already 12 yards downfield. Push off, He kept going until he got him on the ground, which was awesome.
I like that Hendrickson's the only one who really seen it. You know what I mean? He's like, what is going on here? Jeez Louise. Everybody else's eyes are elsewhere.
Yeah.
Until boom.
92 also.
And I think that's when Conklin got it too. Holy shit. What was that one of our guys down to the bottom of that thing? Oh, yeah. It was.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
What a play.
How awesome is that?
Conklin points out right there.
Great trenches trip. AQ Shipley. We appreciate you, buddy. That was a hell of a Wednesday. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We hope you had a good time. Darius Butler will be leaving for the week because he's got to go film that show you guys should watch.
That's right.
baby.
Can't wait.
AJ, what's the name of the show?
NFL matchup. I actually caught some of that in the hotel it was on.
Hey, appreciate you, AJ.
Boy, Hawk.
Yeah.
Mario Lopez, change the channel. Darius Butler on NFL matchup. That's
right.
Hotel TV, baby. Debo, you want to do a shot to give away something or what?
Let's do it.
What do you want to do? You want to shoot? You want to throw? You want to golf?
What?
Been doing a lot of golfing.
You have been doing a lot of golfing.
I golf. Fuck it.
All right.
Yeah, his jumper was not what it was, I think.
Whoa.
Yeah, yesterday he was shooting around. He was like, I
You
don't
can't
think I
shoot
have it.
anymore?
It ain't, I'll shoot. What you want me to do?
It's up
No,
to
I'm
you.
just saying Connor just said you can't shoot.
Shoot, stay.
He'll drain it. He'll drain it for sure.
Well, we'll see.
You're shooting from up here? No, yeah.
Yeah, you should. I mean, Debo missed his men's league final and the team lost, so
Oh, no.
people are not happy with him.
Oh,
in South
no. Hold on.
Florida.
We got to figure out what we're giving away. We got to figure out. That's a long shot, bro. Connor said you haven't been shooting at all. Your men's league team lost.
Yeah.
So I think if you make this, obviously, 15 people, $500 should
Wow.
retweet this post and say something nice to somebody in the same exact thing. Now, you obviously have to tell us the most efficient and easy way to pay you electronically, whether it's Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, whatever it is, in that same response as well. But go ahead, D-Butt. Spread a little happiness, a little joy, some compliments, and also get 15 people. That was good.
I thought it looked good on the back.
Tracking.
Yeah, it did look good.
All right, on this one, 12 people, $500. All you got to do is make this shot. And when he does, all you got to do is reach. Ladies and gentlemen, 12 people, 500.
Oh, man, what I tell you, he's going to break your scooter.
10 people here.
Nope,
10
nope,
people.
nope, too late. Don't do that.
10 people, $500. If Darius Butler makes this shot and you treat this hoop, hold up. Hold up.
Change it up.
12
Change it
people. We'll
up.
go back to 12
Yeah.
people.
Yep,
That's a little
shout
bit
out,
further.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a little flat.
Oh, boo-hoo. This guy making excuses already.
All right, 12 people, $500. If Darius J. Butler can make this moonshot from the stage, far hoop.
Bonus ball. D-Butt, bonus ball.
Bonus ball. If you can get that from the stage, you left the stage.
Oh, no. Floor's lava.
Every ball is a bonus ball if you just want to go out on the court.
No, this doesn't count. Well, who shoots?
Well, I
That's
mean-
for putting.
10 people. We got to do 10 people. Okay. 10 people, $500. If Darius Butler can drain this.
Watch out, Bill. Oh, bonus ball.
Bill might be intimidated over there.
Yeah, he might be.
Bill, he is the intimidator.
Pointing that
brother.
camera at you.
How
you
many
might think
people?
it's
How many?
done.
How many people do you think should win? You make? It's a tough shot. This is a tough shot. It's a tough shot. 10 people.
Jeez. On his eighth shot.
All right.
Okay.
10. Well, first shot. 10 people. 5.
This wasn't meant to be.
But you need to put more under it, son. Every ball's going the same place.
Ladies and gentlemen, 10 people will win $500 on this Trenches Wednesday that had J.J. Watt stop by, Eli Manning stop by, Bobby Carpenter stop by, AQ Shipley was here. If D-Buck can drain this moonshot, 10 people, $500 who retweet this. Oh, buddy.
He's not putting.
All right, thank you.
But you got to put more into the ball.
This is a great first week.
Yep.
This is a great first week.
All right.
This is a great first week.
All right.
We'll bounce back.
I don't play basketball anymore. Glass.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, you got to aim
Tough
right.
shot.
You got to aim right and throw it. Well, sorry, nobody wins.
Maybe tomorrow.
Shame.
The real winners are those who watch NFL matchup.
That's right.
Amen.
Set your alarms, 2:15 a.m. Saturday night.
Whoa.
That's right.
Whoa.
You know, the thing is, Colorado's playing Colorado State 10 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that game ends, if there's a double overtime, NFL matchup should start immediately upon that game ends.
Yeah. Roll right into it.
Okay? Just right into Darius Butler late night. And then we will see you back in here on Monday, right?
Yep.
You're the man. AQ, great work. Diggs, great work today.
you.
Talks the table, fantastic job. And in the back, you boys are crushing it.
Let's go, boys.
Bill, good photos. Mid on the phones. And everybody that watches, you're the greatest humans on earth. Thank you for allowing us to do this for a living. We will see you tomorrow. And we're in Boulder on Friday live. Woo! Be a friend, bring a friend, so we're not out there alone. Goodbye.